And welcome to Leyshon Park for this round 18 NEAFL clash. It is the Redland Bombers versus the Gold Coast Suns. Mark Kennedy is my name, and I'm joined by St Kilda champions in Gilbert McAdam and Nicky Winmar. Good afternoon, gentlemen. It is 7th versus 8th. And Gilly, this is a very, very important game for both sides who mathematically can both still make the finals.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially for Redlands because they've been disappointing the last month or so, and they definitely need to win. But Gold Coast Suns, look, they've been terrific since they've got their depth back, and I just find it hard to believe that they're only one game out of it. So all in all, it's set up for a great game today.
And Nicky, beautiful conditions here at Yeronga for this clash. Do you think heat will play a factor? I expect it'll get to 23, 24 degrees. Even though both these sides obviously are from Queensland, it will take it out of both sides there.
Yeah, King, it's great facilities. I mean, the grass looks magnificent. My first trip here, I got lost this morning, I must say. I did drive around Brisbane a few times. I think I've seen Brisbane the city about 3 times this morning. But it's good to be here. The weather's going to be nice and warm. I'll say the fittest player out there will stand up in this game, and hopefully it'll be a great game because Redlands, like you said, they lost 5 of the last 5 games were defeated. So they've got to really start well today if they are to get to anywhere.
So both sides have got good lineups this afternoon. I'm looking forward to seeing the clash between Brooksby and also Craig Malone in the ruck. Is there any other matchups particularly or players that you're looking forward to seeing this afternoon, Gilly?
Oh, look, I'm just looking forward to watching young Lemons because, not young, but look, I just think that he's a quality player, when he's playing at that high level. But, someone like him, he should not only be a stopper, they could probably throw him in on the ball perhaps, and, he could be definitely a link man for them to set the play up, especially in their forward 50. But, I'm looking forward to young Maxi Spencer as well. I probably mentioned him before, but, I'm just looking forward to the whole setup of the Gold Coast because they've improved out of sight in the last 5-6 weeks.
Now, Nicky, what's your tip as we hear this siren sound?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Redlands.
And Gilly?
I'm actually going to go for the Gold Coast.
And I'm going to go just the favour of Redlands as the ball gets bounced. We're underway. It's Malone who went high. Here's a hit-out king. The ball goes the way of Redland. Plenty of players around the contest. Here's Brewer emerging from it. Just gets it long inside forward 50. O'Donnell was the target. It's a push.
How lucky was that one?
In the contest. And James O'Donnell, within the first 30 seconds, will be able to go back and shoot for goal. So it looked like a little bit of a nudge in the back. Was there much in it for you?
Oh, look, I didn't think there was a lot in it, but Nicky mentioned Blake Brewer. You mentioned him before the game, Nick, and look what he did then. He's straight out of the middle. He sets it up. Yeah. That's the quick kick in.
Thought it was a bad kick in the forward line, but he got there.
So O'Donnell comes in, 45-degree angle, kicks from 40. It looks good off the boot. Does it have the legs? It does. They all go to him. And Redland are away. So not a minute gone, and Redland have the first one on the board.
The whole team just ran down there and just gave him a pat on the back, Gilbert, for a good start because, it's important they all get around each other.
Yeah, and it is a great start, Nick, for them. And, the interesting thing now that they paid that free kick, they're going to have to be consistent with that free kick now because they've set the standard for the game. So be interesting what happens from here on because that was only a one-on-one, 50-50.
It'd be good to see him twice in a row, Gilbert, out of the centre there.
The big Loersh in the ruck for the Gold Coast. Goes up against Malone once again. Ball goes high. Bit more of a contest on that occasion. Here's Batoli Simmons with the left foot to half forward. Going a little bit early. Was the Redlands player, and Gold Coast will win the free kick. That's going to Max Spencer. So Spencer, we've seen him last year play as a top-up. Part of the Gold Coast Academy. They go out to the outer side. The kick smothered there by Brewer. And the kick came from Williams. And the ball out of play on the outer wing.
Every player's almost got a man. There's no people zoning or the plus ones or anything, Nick. It's just man-on-man footy. It's good.
Yeah, it's a good start so far, Gilbert.
So Malone, here's Williams again, over his head. Gets it to half forward. They'll try and merge. Williams has his kick intercepted. Gold Coast deep in attack. The foot race is on. Here's Miller. He leads the charge. Just tries to tow it and basically misses it. Wills, he's set upon by Howard, but the ball squeezes out. Batoli, Simmons, Aaron handball from him. McKenzie just gets a deft touch off that left leg and finds Fiorini. And he can go back and shoot for goal.
Yeah, Darcy McPherson, he was the one that kicked that ball, and then he followed up, and then he got the handball out. Nick, that was good play by him.
Good play by him.
So Fiorini will shoot. Similar distance to O'Donnell. He'll come on the left. And it starts left and finishes left. So one behind. Can't quite even the ledger.
I'll tell you what, Kang, I've been to a lot of ovals around Australia. I'll tell you what, Nicky, this oval is probably one of the best ovals I've ever seen in Australia. I'll tell you right now.
Sure is.
Picturesque as Brad Howard brings the ball back in for Redland, a former Saint. We've got plenty of former Saints up here in the commentary box as well, but Trent McKenzie just handles that one with ease.
Good to see him back from injury.
He's got a cannon of a left leg. He just almost chips that one in and finds a target in Clay Cameron. So good contested mark up forward, and Gold Coast will shoot for goal once again.
I thought Greer might have had a chance to fist it then, but he seemed to misjudge it. So, I mean, it's a good mark.
So Clay Cameron, a bit of a swing man. We're used to seeing him down back. And he can, of course, play up forward as we're witnessing. He'll kick it from about 42 metres. No real angle. There's not a lot of breeze today either. So a straight kick will get a good reward. Ooh. And the kick is just offline, hits the top of the right-hand goal post. 2 points. The Suns playing Redland one straight.
Yeah, a couple of early touches for them. They've got to consolidate with goals.
Howard plays on. Goes up the middle now. He's fleet of foot is Howard. Gets the ball to the middle of the ground. It's not a massive ground, this one. Even though it's picturesque, it's not a big one. Lemons comes away with it. It's the ball off to Donnelly. He goes deep inside forward. Cameron's a target once again. He went high. Miller bursts through with the ball. Redland might come away with it here. And Miller gets it again. Squares it on the left. Didn't get the purchase on it he would have liked. And the Gold Coast, it's a good mark from them.
Good pressure by the Gold Coast forwards to keep it in there, forward 50, Nick.
They seem they can't get it past the centre line at the moment, Redlands, but it's good pressure from the Gold Coast.
So Spencer went inside, went deep. And the ball, contest, it gets out there. Brewer just couldn't handle on the first occasion, but keeps his feet well, then uses his speed to break it out. Outside of his forward 50 or defensive 50, but Gold Coast, they can reload. Although the kick is a bit of a dangerous one, puts Donnelly under pressure. Yagmore with a good tackle.
Oh, the ball, no.
And he didn't have a real opportunity, so the umpire was happy to cross his arms.
Good decision by the umpire.
Yeah,
Look, he had no prior opportunity, Nick.
Ball up again. Malone had front spot. Rogerson, good handball out. Edwards, he's just dragged down by Lemons. Good desperation and forced the turnover. Fiorini gets it. Couldn't get any purchase on his kick as Aaron Christensen applied the pressure and the ball out of play right in front of us here in the NITV commentary position.
He got away, Oziden, just entered the ball. He just got tackled, but you know, if he'd have got away, it would have been different.
It's a good player, Lemons.
Yeah.
No real clear winner of the contest. Having his kick smothered there was Dawson. Good handball out, finds Edwards for Redland. Gets it almost to his forward 50. And an easy mark there for Kaufman. Comes back from whence it came and finds McKenzie. Good to see him back on the paddock. Goes backwards. Finds a teammate. That's Kaufman. And infringing over the mark
50 metres.
Was Jonah Like, so he'll be marched 50 metres. So little disciplined things are going to make a difference this afternoon.
Yeah, that's the, what do they call them? Coaches?
Coach killers.
Coach killers.
So Kaufman gives it off to McKenzie. He'll load up with the left foot. Just checks it a little though. The push in the marking contest was there from Willis, but no call there. And Redland through Miller, through Batoli, Simmons and Edwards, they come away with it. Kicks it down the line, but again the kick
there.
is no good. And McKenzie, he's just racking them up, if you don't mind, early, and he gets it into Hallahan. So middle of the ground, goes inside forward 50, goes deep. Williams was there, couldn't take the mark. He slipped over. Swooping on it is the Gold Coast player. We'll pick up who that was. It was Clay Cameron, I think. He went on the left foot and couldn't capitalise. It's a game of inches. We've had posts and everything, but no goals for Gold Coast.
Gold Coast absolutely dominating, but they got to kick goals.
Yeah, they haven't kicked goals yet, Gilbert.
So Saunders, that was a good mark in front of his nose. It's it to Rogerson, a little bit of run. Here's a Salter, but we have a whistle on play, and it was Greer.
Greer's free kick.
Off the ball.
Didn't
he was
see what
either
happened
held
there.
or illegally infringed. So Greer plays on, wasn't sure where to go, used his leg speed, now straightens up on the right, turns it around. Does it come back enough? It does.
Jesus, a good player.
Class.
I always
That's
see
from
good
Blake Greer.
player.
Mate, that's class. That's absolute class.
I didn't think. What's he doing there? And all of a sudden, he just, made something out of nothing. So it's a good play.
You know what the disappointing thing for the Gold Coast is that young Lemons was on him.
Yeah.
Now Lemons has played at the highest level.
know.
Now for that young fella to do that to him, he made it look so easy. That's just an inspirational goal.
There you go. 10 minutes of being in the Suns forward line, and then 1 minute down and it's a goal.
Yeah. Look, that's right. They got to make the opportunities count, and Redlands have. Kanga.
Yep.
So we played 8 or nearly 9 minutes of this first quarter, and Redland lead by 9 points. Going high was Malone, uncontested. Damien Stephen, he got the first touch, but they fumbled it. Salter manages to get it out to Batoli Simmons. Now they go to half forward. The bouncing ball. Leading the race was the Suns, and that was a good tackle. And no real chance.
Very lucky with that.
And Williams, he got up. In fact, it wasn't Williams, it was Charlesworth. Should recognise that name. He played for Southport last week. So some of these young top-up players, they do mix and match the members of the Gold Coast Suns Academy.
How hard would that be? That'd be so hard on young kids trying to do that, trying to work out a pattern of play and trying to...
Yeah.
That'd be difficult. I find that very odd now. I'd be able to cope with that because we never had to do that.
So Malone, we'll talk about that a little bit further. Hallahan got it from Fiorini, and Hallahan's away. Just evades Rogerson, gives the ball inside. McKenzie goes long. Loersch is there. He's the big target. The littles come. One of them is Cameron, but he's not so little. The ball's fed out. Loersch gives the easy handball over the top to Kempe. And Kempe gets the Gold Coast first. Narrows the margin to just 3 points.
Yeah, that's better by Gold Coast, Nick. You know, they've had all the play and they couldn't get a goal. So for them to get that straight away after that Redlands goal, they needed that. And
I've noticed that Redland's got to get their players in front when they get the ball to go forward because the Gold Coast Suns are in front and they're reading it a lot better.
yes,
And of course they're panicking and they just kick it on the boot and just hopefully one of the boys get it.
but there's no need to panic sometimes because they've actually got. That's where they need their players to.
They're not looking in the forward line anymore.
Yeah.
They're just panicking.
So McKenzie with 6 disposals so far in the game. We're only 10.5 minutes or nearly 11 minutes into the game, and he's put them all on the boot with great effect when you've got a boot like his. We're underway again. Hallahan gets it to half forward. Fiorini there has his handball just interrupted. Hallahan gets it again. He'll go long, punch it deep. Brooksby's the target, couldn't hang on to it. Williams, he's wrapped up straight away, and I think we'll have a ball up. The umpire agrees with me.
Gold Coast just seem to be dominating the centre square bounces, Nick, at the moment.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Oh, they're doing really, really good at the moment.
First use.
You know, it's good.
So ball up again, Brooksby. Gets it down. Plenty of players around the contest. Gruer's around there as well. Umpire will start it up again.
But you notice how they're bringing in as a forward line though, too, Gilbert?
Yeah.
They're looking a lot more better than what Redlands are.
Yeah, you're right.
So Brooksby got his hand on it, but coming away was Miller for Redland. Just punches it out to the outer wing. Malone provides the good contest. And the Suns, under pressure, work it out. Here's McKenzie again. First time he's actually had to use his hands rather than his foot. Gets it to half forward. The tackle, it was a good one
dropping the ball
by
out.
Walsh.
Yep.
And he wins a good free kick because they were pressing again, the Suns. And Brad Shear was the man who couldn't quite escape the clutches. They go to the outer wing. Here's Cameron Reeves, couldn't handle it. And free kick, it's going too high. It'll go the way of the Gold Coast Suns and go to Kaufman. He goes backward immediately. Off to Shade. Now off to McKenzie. And he just uses that cannon. Gets it inside. Brooksby went straight through his arms. Just got it back again. Clamorin and gets it off to Donnelly. Has his kick smothered. Swooping on it there was McPherson, but he was wrapped up straight away. So well done to Lachlan Nyland Rowe, who laid the good tackle and just stopped him cold in his tracks.
All the Redlands players have gone back and they're flooding.
Yeah.
There's no player from centre, almost from centre half forward, Nick, for Redlands.
Yeah.
So McPherson goes high from the stoppage, and Errant goes out of bounds on the full. So Tom Salter, the Redland captain, be able to bring it back into play.
That's not a bad tactic. As long as when you run the ball out, you don't just kick it anywhere because your players are going to be out on the ground.
There's just too many people around where they're going to kick it to next. Look at it. There's about 20 people there. Look, guys there, no?
Yep.
It's just...
It was a push.
What happened to the one-on-one?
Yeah. No, but that's tactics by Redlands for crowding it, see?
So a block on play. Allows Shade the free kick, and Shade in the sun brings it back in. Going very, very high on that occasion was Bowes. Now the Gold Coast, they get to it, and they kick a goal. And well done to Bowes. Brought it to ground. And the Gold Coast Suns capitalised. Just trying to pick up the player that kicked it. Might have been McPherson, I think. And regardless of who it is, in fact, it was Donnelly. And it's now a 3-point lead to the Gold Coast Suns, 2-3-15. Redland, 2 straight 12. We've played 14 and a quarter minutes of this first quarter.
They just seem to get their goals easier.
Yeah.
Redlands really have to work hard. That's probably
the delivery of the ball going in there.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference, isn't it?
But we've only seen it twice in Redlands forward line. They kick the goals, but
yeah,
we haven't seen any more down there. It's all been up here.
Up the other end, yep.
Bounce the middle again. No clear winner of the ruck, Fiorini. He goes at it a couple of times, still couldn't handle it. Batoli Simmons off to Damien Stephen. Man with 2 first names, gets it to half forward. Here's Thompson. He's been good in recent weeks. McKenzie lays a good tackle. Batoli Simmons again. Long looping handball. Edwards must have been in the sun because it went straight through his hands. Gets it up again. Gives it back. Batoli Simmons again. He's had plenty of it early. Goes inside forward 50. Goodall was the target. He couldn't take it. Kaufman tries to burst through. Rogerson holds him up. But Gold Coast, they'll come away with it. And through a chain of handballs, it'll end up with Lemons.
Looked like a rugby pass then.
Yagmore intercepts that kick, or almost does. The Gold Coast maintain a bit of possession. They're running in numbers. Here's Willis through the middle of the ground. Chain again, McPherson. Gets it off now to Donnelly. Just palms Miller off. Gives it to McPherson again. McPherson tries to bring rain. The sky's too blue. You can't do that. Williams comes over the top and knocks it out of bounds.
Yeah. A good play there by his Suns to bring it up in the forward line.
McPherson, he goes all right, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, his awareness where the ball is, he's front and square. He's dangerous.
The ball back into play. Brooksby gets it down. Good tap. Fiorini just coming through there, and well done. And that's Bowes.
Made it look easy.
And the man,
Bowes.
Jack Bowes, he was a Rising Star nomination for the NEAFL last week, playing for Southport. So he has snapped a goal, and that's where these Gold Coast Suns Academy boys, they do get the opportunity to play for the Gold Coast, but when the Gold Coast, who had a bye last week, they go back and play for their local club, and they're of a standard that they can get games at clubs like Southport, who are actually ahead of both the Suns and Redlands and sitting in 6th spot.
Gee, that puts a lot of pressure on the coaching staff and players that are trying to cement a spot, because if they have to move out for those blokes to come back in... Yeah, I reckon it's a bit confusing, but that's a sign of the times, modern day football.
It's good competition, this competition, you know, Gilbert, and you know, like it's unbelievable to see where the Suns were sitting on the ladder.
We'll talk about it in a minute, but these guys, these young men, play for Queensland in the under-18s, and they play as top-up players for the Gold Coast and sometimes play for their club side. As Gold Coast take it forward again, unable to hold it there was Hallahan, so Redland will bring it away. That was Brewer trying to come through. Couldn't quite get a clean handball away. Now there's Stacks on the mill. So it's a bit willing in there. Brewer gets up and goes again, as we know he does. High up in the NEAFL MVP award, of course, which has gone behind closed doors for the duration of the home away series until we crown the winner. Hallahan gets it from the clearance, gets it inside forward 50. Williams couldn't handle it, just stand and tried to deliver. Good tackle on him, so ineffective handball there. Willis gets it off that time, and that is to Shear, and that went right across the face and out of bounds on the full. And Brad Shear, that was probably his best effort for an All-Australian.
Darcy McPherson, he's the one that got the handball out then, so he's dangerous up there, I'll tell you.
They've got to get Brewer into the play. He's don't know where he is at the moment.
So Lachlan Nyland Rowe kicked it in. Lowersh. He got it off. Kicking it inside with Spencer. A bullet-like pass.
Can't stop that.
And finds Jack Bowes. Of course, he kicked the last goal and he can line up for his second.
Got a bit of skill, this young kid. He's got a good awareness of how to find the footy. He's got a bit of skill about him. He takes a good mark.
That's a great thing about the Gold Coast Academy program and, of course, the Northern Academies that boys play in this NEAFL competition. At the end of the year, they are a product of the academies, and those sides, those AFL sides, can recruit them. And the kick is a good one from Bowes, and that's 2. And Gold Coast, all of a sudden, have just kicked away, and they lead 3-3-27 to Redland. 2 straight goals, 12.
Yeah, Nick, Redland started off pretty well, but Gold Coast are just dominating now. Redlands need to just go back to basics now, and they need to go man on man. Nick,
they've got to go man on man in the centre there. You get the boy out and go forward again, and get another goal or two before the sorry. 90 minutes to go. Left, and it's gone by.
Or bring someone back.
They've had it down since the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, they need to bring someone back to crowd the Gold Coast forward line, because they can't continue the way they're going.
There's no breeze anything. I don't know why.
So here's Cameron Reeves, got it from the Malone hit out. Goes out wide, half forward. The bounce eludes Gold Coast, but coming through beautifully was a defender. Now Lemons just tries to palm one off. Eventually does so. Just dragged down as he kicked it was Charlesworth. Managed to get it further afield, but it ends up with Nyland Rowe, who got it from Malone. They go backwards. They just try and push it back. Adkins up towards almost a good mark on that occasion to Weller. Like the way he goes about his footy as well. He can play in bursts, but the ball's held up now on the outer wing.
Yeah, look, it's a good contest at the moment, but Redlands have just got to nullify Gold Coast scoring.
So now they've got an opportunity. Here's Salt. In fact, it was Cameron Reeves just kicked it into the man on the mark.
Great smother.
Out of bounds it goes.
That was a brilliant smother, Nick.
Great smother there, Gilbert.
So just leading possession getters. Hayden Batali-Simmons has got 7 for Redlands. Isaiah Edwards with 6, along with Brewer, and Mackenzie with double digits, 10. So away. Here's one of those men we talked about, Brewer, on a handball. So that's 2 possessions for him. He's just accumulating. Gets it inside forward 50. And that's a good mark by Keogh under pressure. Gives it off straight away. That was just Shade.
Punch.
Well done by Howard. Kaufman. Coming through there was Williams. Couldn't quite get it effectively in the first go. Keogh off to Shade. And now finds Kempy. Of course, he's already kicked the goal this afternoon. Nothing like a bit of a confidence booster as a young fellow. As down the line, Cameron comes over the top. Couldn't handle it. Batali-Simmons off to Williams, just bursts through a couple, gets it on the boot. Williams. O'Donnell, he's the target, goes over his head. He's got a couple to beat. Not sure about that one from Keogh. Errant palm down, finds Rogerson. He's on his favoured left, and it's a good kick inside. And finds Jonah Like. Well done to the Redland players.
That's what I like to see. Redlands do that.
Rogerson, good presence of mind.
Just composure, wasn't it? He could have rushed then, but he did well then, because there were like 3 Gold Coast onto 2 Redlands then.
Yeah, they've got to kick a goal, Gilbert.
They have to.
Otherwise they're going to just get behind again.
So Jonah Like, we're right behind this one.
Good kid.
Aims it and well straight done. Over the umpire's hat.
That's great. Well done.
And he comes in and kicks his first, and an important one. And whilst we're still in the first quarter, it's important to maintain contact, and it moves Redlands to 3 straight 18, chasing the Gold Coast Suns 4-3-27. We've played 22 and a quarter minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, good goal there from Redlands, and it's going to be interesting in the second quarter to see which is the scoring end, because this oval, it goes downhill, it goes left to right downhill, and you think that the end that Redlands are kicking to is the scoring end, but Gold Coast are dominating, so time will tell.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe back in the Brisbane floods of a few years back that this ground
used to be flat.
Was underwater by about a metre and a half.
Kid?
We used to play nine-a-side here back in the early
days.
90s.
When Gilbert was working with the QAFL.
That's
long
correct.
time ago. Willis gets it from Hallahan, so another clearance going the way of the Suns. Yagmore leads the chase, just trying to manhandle the young man who... from the Suns, who was there.
Thought he might have gone free kick away then, Kanga, but he done well.
So the ball out of play. Half forward, out of side for the Suns.
How good are the white picket fences? It's like Adelaide Oval.
Beautiful setting here. Loersch went up high and winning a free kick, I would have thought. Umpire says no. I thought it's one of the players there. We've got a free kick, Jacob Dawson. The umpire didn't clearly see it the way I saw it.
Not a wind, not a speck of wind, nothing. Look, just magnificent, sunny. Where else would you want to be, Nicky?
Somewhere in a boat fishing, Gilbert.
Down.
With Spider and Kanga.
Charlesworth's got the up and under, and taking a good mark, standing underneath it there, is Scott Miller. Goes short and wide, finds Patoli Simmons.
Switch to play.
Down the line, finds
Good lead,
Weller.
well done, good kick.
This is where they fall down.
Yeah,
The next option.
yeah. This is. Give it this go.
So went back to Miller. Adkins is on. Now try and come out to Nyland Rowe. They've got Howard short. They find him now. Donnelly couldn't quite get there in time. So all they've done, have moved it from one side of the ground to the other, and now they're just holed up here. Goes short. Find Rayner. Little stocky left footer. Usually a good kick. That one's no exception. Finds Adkins. Now to Howard. Not sure where to go. Just hesitates and goes out wide.
Go back where they started then.
They are. And finds Miller once again. So Miller probably done about 300 metres worth of running. The ball's gone nowhere, and they've just maintained possession. Nyland Rowe. Good way to get, if you're playing on the dream team or fantasy points, it's a good way to get these numbers up.
Redland players aren't giving the bloke with the ball an option because they're going to move around, move left, move right,
They
move
went
up,
there before,
move back.
same spot they were going to go with about 5 minutes ago. Gilbert.
Well, they can't be there. They've got to move around to try and create space for each other. No one's talking. Or
I might have a turnover here. McKenzie just roosted inside forward 50. Brooksby's there. Too big, too tall, too strong. There was a bit of a mismatch there as Yagmore was back with him. And the resting ruckman can go back and shoot for goal. Big man from South Australia.
They went left and right, and back to right and back. And that where, you know.
And that was good team defence from the Gold Coast Suns, just to block the space up.
Yeah, well,
did that.
Gold Coast are too switched on with the zones for Redlands to try and switch the ball like that. So they're too slow. You've got to move fast.
Directly in front. Brooksby makes no mistake. And re-establishing the margin once again, as that is the fifth for the Gold Coast Suns. They move to 5-3-33. Redland 3 straight 18. The margin is 15 points.
Young Brooksby, is he South Adelaide Brooksby?
Yes, he is.
His father Phil Brooksby that used to play for that club? It is.
I would
Phil
hazard a
Brooksby.
guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's. I think I played against Phil Brooksby at the start of my career. I think he played over 200 games for South Adelaide.
And the young man
Might have been the captain too, I think.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's young Keegan as well. Evidenced by that good goal. Good mark and goal. Loersch gets a tap out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Holding free kick. Go the way of Brewer. Gives it off quickly to Salter. Salter.
Ooh, great pick
picking up on the top there was Thompson. Gets it off to Steve and just slips over on the lush grass here at Yeronga.
Oh,
And
come on up. There you go, Brewer. There you go. Started with Brewer and look was going to finish up with him.
Oh, it was great. It was great pressure by Hallahan.
50 metres, there you go.
Yeah, they might have said something, I think. But that was a good tackle by Hallahan. It was just unfortunate that...
I reckon he just took him forward, though, didn't it, into his back?
Well, I reckon he fought... Grew forced it a bit. Nicky, you were pretty good at it. You used to force it and got the free kick. You would have done it.
I had to work hard for it.
As Greer comes in and makes no mistake, the easiest of goals right on the goal line. That's 2 for Blake Greer. And right now, it's a little bit of goal for goal, the last few.
I never used to get free kicks, Gilbert.
Oh, you didn't have to, brother. You just got the ball around. Look, good answer by...
That was a push in the back, though.
Yeah. Look, well done to Redlands then, because, the Gold Coast were getting a bit of a run on. And
it started with Greer. He got it out, and we finished up with it and kicked the goal.
He's such a crucial...
He's a very important person.
He's crucial for them.
Yes.
And, he's one of the key players. Him and Hallahan, that's going to be a good little duel, those two.
So that was their 4th of the afternoon. The margin back to 9 points. Closing moments of the first quarter. O'Donnell in the ruck now against Lowersh. Brooksby's in there as well. Just squeezes a kick out, but only finds Adrian Williams. And just backward of centre. Goes out wide to the outer side.
Yeah, but that's a good kick. Good kick, though.
It's a good mark there.
Centre.
Goodall.
Bloke in the centre.
Gives it to Cameron Reeves. And the kick just didn't quite find its target. And just plucking it nicely was Dawson. Just uses his feet there and gets it off to Charlesworth, who in turn further afield and finds Kaufman. Kaufman looked to come in board and then going back down the line and finds the big fellow, Loersch. He's a big unit.
There's a few big boys out there for the Suns, isn't there?
Good smother. He smothered that.
Yeah,
he did.
And so turnover. Salter's got it, just pumps it inside 50. Provided the contest. Ball on the deck. Christensen's there, and he's got it wrapped up as 2 Gold Coast Suns have him wrapped up, and we'll have the ball up.
Redland's got to get a goal at this, Gilbert.
Yeah, and
there's not much time left.
And well done to Redlands for holding in their forward 50, Nick, because that gives them an opportunity now.
That's great.
Third man up there was Rogerson. Trying to win the ball down there was Cameron Reeves. Plenty of players in. Goes the Gold Coast way. Greer. He'll just lead the charge there. Got a handball off to Adkins, now to Salter. Just pushed as he kicked it. At front spot. Almost had it. And couldn't quite come away with it. Lemons. And just gave the handball off. Had to go and do his own work in the finish. Got it to Shade, who in turn got it to McPherson in the back pocket. McPherson just got it
like
to Fiorini.
How far is that? It's about 10 metres, isn't it?
Oh, they only just made it. But I was going to say, Lemons front and square. That's his class, Lemons, isn't it?
Look at this.
So a 50-metre penalty, and that goes against Patoli Simmons. Just overly vigorous in the attempted spoil.
This poor umpire, got to wait for this.
That's another 50, because he's not allowed to run through there like that, is he?
I believe, it's my belief, Gilbert.
Are you allowed to follow your player?
You're allowed to follow your player.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So the umpire just wanted to clear the area. That's why he blew the whistle.
Must have the weather causing this.
So the kick came out, Fiorini to a Loersch, and now to McKenzie. They're giving him a bit of space, knowing he can absolutely roost it.
Give it back to him.
And he does exactly what Gilbert McAdams says. Loersch now kicks it to a spot, a dangerous spot, because coming out to meet it and doing it well was Clay Cameron. So a good setup there, good build-up from the Gold Coast.
That was well done by Cameron Lawsh, He's a big man, so for him to be able to run around and create that was a beautiful kick. He just put it in front and gave him every chance. Nick, that's where you want it, in the front.
Look at McKenzie. Look, he's telling the blokes now where to stand, where to go to, a player he is,
he's quality player.
He's a good player.
For this standard, anyway.
Yeah.
So Clay Cameron missed his first attempted goal. It's one behind for the afternoon. He had a sider, and he doesn't need another because that's straight through. And that's their 6th of the afternoon. They move to 6-3-39. Redland, 4 straight 24. We've played nearly 32 minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, I know.
And Just some telling blows being landed by the Gold
I
Coast.
think one quarter yesterday went for 40 minutes.
Oh, brother, nothing surprises me in the NEAFL, but I'll tell you something.
Yeah, I know.
It's 10 goals, Nick.
I know, it's 10 goals,
at the,
3. I mean, if it was 3 points, it'll have been 13 goals kicked in the first quarter.
But if you're a spectator watching the game, great game, because it's just going from one end to the next. And, just when you think Gold Coast is starting to get on top, Redland seemed to answer, but then Gold Coast come back with another one.
I know, there it goes.
And that was a crucial goal right at the end of the first quarter to Clay Cameron. And it results in a 15-point lead at quarter time. Both sides desperate to keep their finals hopes alive, and bursting out of the blocks are the Gold Coast Suns. And Gilly, warm conditions. We haven't even seen Adam Sard come on the ground. He's obviously playing limited game time this afternoon. So there's going to be a few chops and changes and a few adjustments having to be made by both sides. But Redland, a little bit of work to do.
Oh, look, absolutely. And I'm really looking forward to Sard when he comes on. But, look, I think they're looking for a week or, they might even play back in the big AFL next week. Him and Mackenzie. Like, Mackenzie, he's played a brilliant quarter. Will they play a full 4 quarter? Because I've been told that they might not play the full 4 quarters because they're looking forward to them playing next week. So we might not see Mackenzie and Sard for the whole 4 quarters.
We'll see.
Yeah,
well, I've been told that, they're looking at playing next week in the AFL, so that's fair enough.
Well, we used to play 6 quarters when we were young blokes back those days.
No, you didn't play reserves because you were too good, Nicky. And
no, we played
that put you straight back in.
We played under 17s and then we played reserves.
Well, managing game time is an important thing, rotations and everything. But right now, we're going to see what happens at quarter time after these messages. The margin's 15 points in favour of the Gold Coast Suns. Both sides just emerged from their huddles. Not a big crowd here this afternoon at Yeronga, but they are being treated to a very entertaining game. That first quarter yielded 10 goals, with the Gold Coast Suns having a 15-point lead, 6-3-39 to 4 straight 24. And Nicky, it certainly was a good opening to this game.
Yeah, great opening to the game, Kanga. I mean, both teams are really having a go at it, and just it's Redlands when they do get it down there, they do score, but they haven't got it then as much as the Suns have in their forward line. So maybe this quarter, we'll see how they go.
And we spoke about just before quarter time, Gilly, about players being managed with game time. Adam Sard now in the game, sitting in the back pocket.
Oh, good.
For the Gold Coast Suns. So we'll see. They'll be looking for his run and carry as he comes back from a hamstring injury. We're underway. Malone gets a hit out. Batoli Simmons, he's been prolific in his first quarter. He had 10 disposals. Good punch there from the Southport defence. Cameron Reeves can't find a target. Big Luersh. He just gets the ball. Malone feeds a handball out and gives it straight to the opposition. Hallahan, good kick to half forward. Finds Bowes.
Great kick.
And the kick was a good one, although unable to handle it was the Gold Coast Suns. And Adrian Williams just got poleaxed as soon as he grabbed the ball. They might maintain it there. Cameron loses it in the tackle, but then I think has been flung down after the ball has left the area, and he will receive a free kick and go back, shoot for goal from 45 degrees, and he'll only have to kick it about 35 metres, boys.
What was that for, King?
After the ball left the area, they
eh?
continued to hold on to Clay Cameron.
I noticed Isaiah has changed his boots. He's gone back to the black and white boot stays. The number 20 for Redlands. He had those bright Dermy Brereton boots on before.
Might have wanted a bit longer. Studs, just given the lush grass here at Yeronga.
Beautiful
and
kick.
That's a great kick from Clay Cameron. And he sinks the first one for the Gold Coast Suns in this second quarter. And they move to 7-3-45. Redland, 4 straight 24.
Yeah, well, I spoke before, about the centre's clearances, and Gold Coast dominated that in the first quarter.
Yeah.
What is the centre clearances? Because they've won it again, and Kanga, and that's where this game's going to be won and lost.
Well, centre clearances, boys, I can't quite get that stat, but clearances overall are 10 apiece. So I believe you're right in terms of the centre clearances, but around the grounds, it's actually 10 apiece.
Yeah, like you say, it's not a very big ground either, Kanga. Like just one kick out of the centre and just it's in the forward line. It's like the same size as Sydney, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, no, you're right.
And that makes clearances all the more crucial, especially in the middle of the ground. No clear winner in the ruck as we get underway again. Hallahan stands. He's tackled by Batoli Simmons. And Hayden Batoli Simmons makes sure it was going nowhere. And the ball up again. Malone just uses his big frame. The ball just spills out. Isaiah Edwards, very noticeable with that headband. He's just wrapped up. And nowhere to go.
Thought he might have a high tackle there, but
but he ducked it a little bit, so that was a good call by the umpire because it was either way.
Malone couldn't get it down. Lowersh just squeezes a handball, a kick out. Chain of handballs ends up with Hallahan. Kicks a short one inside forward 50. Good kick there, finding Shear. So Shear just chips it, checks his kick, and doing well there was Jack.
Easy.
Bowes. I've got to say that right. I've been saying Bowes, but Bowes.
This kid's got something. He's got something special about him. This young kid. He knows how to read the play.
Bowes.
But you know what?
Bowes.
More importantly, he can take a mark. Let's check out his kicking now.
So Jack Bowes, he's already got 2 for the afternoon. It's a tougher shot than he's had up the other end of the ground.
It's very dangerous now, King. If they get another 2 or 3 goals like this.
Comes in. Distance isn't a problem, and neither is accuracy.
Beautiful kick.
So he's away for his 3rd for the afternoon. And Jack Bowes helps the Gold Coast to move to 8-3-51. Redland, 4 straight 24. The margin, a dangerous one for Redland now, 27 points, and we've only played 3.5 minutes of this second quarter.
Yeah, and look, and it's only just been the first 3 minutes, and they've kicked 2, and this young fella Bowes, is he in the academy? Is he? Because he's one player to look out for in the future. He's got something about him. He's just got a footy brain, I reckon.
He reads it well. Before the ball gets there, he knows what he's going to mark it. He's going to put himself in the right position.
Well, if he just works on his, getting his body, do a bit of weights, anything could happen with him, Nick.
So we're underway again. Hallahan cops one high and will take the free kick. So they'll get a centre clearance here again. He takes off quickly. Brewer tries to make ground, couldn't get the smother. Ball inside forward 50. Here's McPherson. I thought for a moment he almost went with the foot, but it come off the knee, said the boundary umpire, and we'll have a throw-in instead, just 40 metres around from the Gold Coast goal. Of course, Yeronga home to the AFL Queensland headquarters. Ball to the back by Brooksby. It was a free kick going the way. It was a push off the ball.
No 50 metres.
And I don't think they knew which way the kick was going at that point in time. Yeah. And the free kick will go to Darcy Cameron Reeves. Goes short. I was going to say that almost didn't go the required distance. Damien Stephen, and that was a pretty similar one, so the umpire had to pay that one as well. Damien Stephen gets it back off Scott Miller, and they're away. Try and kick it, finding a target. Just backward of centre on that outer side is Tom Salter. So the captain presenting well.
This is where Redlands fall down. That next kick from the centre wing forward.
Lowersh, and just manages to get over the back here. Sard, he's the first man there. I was going to say falling in the back. There was Christensen. Umpire didn't agree with me. Coming through there was Hallahan. Good handball. Chain ending up now with... We'll pick that one up. There's Fiorini. They're just moving it. Here's Donnelly. He's tackled, so the pressure came eventually. Lowersh, he's the big man, has to get down low. Fiorini again. Good kick finds Williams. They move the ball. They're just looking to continue to move it. Now it's off to Lemons. Lemons, that's a bit of an indescript kick. Williams for Redlands is there, defending grimly, and just squeezes a kick out and doing well under good
mark
pressure.
Under pressure, yeah.
Was Rogerson.
Yeah, no, that was gutsy stuff by Rogerson. Well done by Lemons too, the way he attacked that ball.
So Rogerson,
a free kick down here somewhere.
In fact, the ball will come back because Brewer was just standing on the mark and almost trying to provide a block. So the umpire said, get out of there, Brewer. You don't need to be there. And it's forced the ball to go back to Rogerson while the umpire came in to sort it out.
Yeah, but ain't your teammate allowed to stand wherever he wants to?
You can't...
he can stand wherever he wants.
What's happening now? The umpires are going crazy with it. He called a play on.
It's a throw-in.
It's a throw-in now.
So
why is that?
Hey, boys, I think he's either moved off the mark or taken too long to take his kick. So the umpire has said, rightio, you're standing out of bounds, so we'll have a throw-in instead.
But I think that's a bit sunstruck.
He was kicking the ball when he was out of bounds anyway. So how do you call that?
But they still do it today in today's game.
If he hasn't gone off his mark, he's deemed to be okay. But as soon as he's gone off his mark and he's out of bounds, the Suns will get a goal on this now. Yeah. So the ball back into play. Enough of the rule explaining from me to these two St Kilda legends. They should know it all.
Well, it's a word called common sense. They're not using common sense, are they?
Look at this.
Redland. They defend stoutly. Brewer gets a kick away, finds Jonah Like. Let's focus on the footy. So Jonah Like goes down the line. And the kick was a good one, although it was a block by Kaufman.
I was going to say
we'll have O'Donnell take the free kick.
What's he doing that?
No, I was going to say he'll get a free kick for that, Nick. Go on, you're right.
Yep.
And there's 50 metres because the ball didn't go back to him properly. So that is a gift for Redlands. And they'll take the ball inside forward 50. And James O'Donnell, who kicked the first goal of the game, will be able to line up similar angle and distance from where he kicked that first one, albeit up the other end.
It should have been almost another 50. That 56, he was standing on the mark there. He didn't know what he was doing.
First time they've had the ball in there forward 50.
Kaufman, is it? Brendan?
So O'Donnell comes in. He just laid back on it and went off to the right and out of bounds on the full. So that's a wasted opportunity there for Redland because they need some goals. They are 27 points adrift.
Yeah.
Like I said, first time in there forward 50 for the quarter. So not many opportunities are going to come their way, so they've got to make the most of it.
So Williams goes to the outer side. No mark on play. McKenzie just tries to load it up and only loaded it up over the boundary line. And it just bounced inside, so we're going to have a throw-in. Or, in fact, it was out of bounds on the full.
It was?
It was out of bounds.
So that ball went down the hill. There's a big drop over there.
There is. And it'll be Kyle Walsh who's waiting at the white picket fence to get the ball back as the spectators
There he goes.
hustle.
Now that Redland's got to get a goal here, Gilbert. Kanga.
So Walsh just goes over the top of Like. So that's not going to get them a goal anytime soon. And here they are, their run. Here's Bowes. Bowes just gets his kick away in time, but it wasn't good on that occasion. I was going to say Cameron Reeves gets a mark, but he doesn't quite grasp it. McPherson, he swoops on it, kicks it high. Hallahan goes back, almost took a good one. Just chiming in nicely was Cameron, and Cameron kicks his second. Smart play, good skill, and the lead extended.
How good, Hallahan. He just put his body on. He just had his eyes for the ball. He had nothing else. He spilt the ball from Edwards, and that's just great play by him. If he's not getting the ball out the centre square or getting it around the ground from the tap-ins,
I thought
he's a quality player, Hallahan.
I thought Edwards would have attacked it a lot better than that.
Well, that's it. Hallahan wanted it more than he did.
Yeah.
So that goal moves the Suns on to 9-3. Really putting the pedal to the metal.
Sard's come off as well, Kang. I hope he's all right, because...
Just be a rotation, perhaps.
Well, he's only just come on. Well, you know...
Mackenzie Willis has got a bit of a sore shoulder too, Kanga. Number 34 for
Keep
Suns.
an eye on that one. The ball out of the middle, or nearly out of the middle once again. Hallahan. Ball going the way. This is Williams. Shows a good bit of toe. Now he's got a little bit of space to move. He did exactly that and lost control of it. Now they go. Hallahan again. Kicks it to a dangerous spot. Extending the arms was Cameron. Now Williams for Redland. Gets it off to Miller. They get it away on this commentary wing. Lemons just belts it off to...
Brilliant punch.
I was going to say, too,
could have grabbed it.
The benefit of Dawson, but it didn't quite find him and instead rolled over the boundary line.
Just his awareness of people around him, you know, that's smart by Lemons. He probably could have grabbed it, but that's okay.
Grew's back on.
He shares and cares with his teammate, that's good.
Brooksby feeds the handball out. Lemons gets it off quickly. Right to centre half forward. Redlands players spoil themselves. Nylan Rowe forced under pressure to handball. It's a difficult one. Rogers, or Rogerson, just tries to work it through. Can't quite get it there. So they're just battling along Redland just to try and get some pressure around the contest. The ball's squeezed over the boundary line right on defensive 50.
I don't know what Redlands can do to get back into this game, Kanga, but the ball just not going down their end, and they're just... Gold Coast is starving them of the ball.
Brooksby just worked Malone under the ball. Coming through off the handball was Willis. Couldn't quite get it cleanly, though. It's Damien Stephen getting it out of defence. He just takes it on the bounce and handballs it. Intercepting beautifully there was Spencer. And he goes inside forward 50. And the punch came from the Suns. And now Redland have got it out of defence and they're away. Here's Salter. Yagmore's forward of the ball. Will he get it on the first bounce? Yes, he does. He's got a man free. It's O'Donnell. He can't get it there because the kick's smothered. So good work there by the Suns' defence. And now they can bring it out. And now the balls end up with Hallahan from Keogh. And now they're on the attack are the Suns. Inside was Fiorini. Willis. Brewer closed down on him. Put a bit of pressure on there, which was probably just as well because they're away. And Nylan Rowe brings it out with Miller. And the kick was a horrible one and finds Charlesworth so they can load up again.
Just great. Great defence by the Gold Coast ruckman to turn that ball over from Yeronga. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Brewer gets it from the scrimmage to Salter. Goes off to Walsh. He was tackled straight away. Turning out of trouble was Keogh. The ball ends up with Lemon after a chain of handballs. Lemons inside forward 50. That's a good kick and finds Clay Cameron.
He's quality, Lemons. He when he gets the ball, he doesn't waste it. He's quality. Great kick.
Just the way that smother from Yagmore, the way they brought it back. I mean, the uses of the ball with their hands skills and, you know, like...
Better.
The pressure was just shows how much
better they are.
The Suns are, you know, in the professional way. Probably got it.
So amazing. Cameron kicks it in and I was going to say finds the target and Brooksby. The umpire didn't pay the mark, so he's forced to pick it up off the deck. And took a snap. Yeah. And it was only a minor though.
That was an intelligent kick though, wasn't it? Just put it up there for him.
was. So Redland, as they normally do, try to bring the ball back in pretty quickly. Salter goes down the line. O'Donnell's the target.
Good mark.
And that was a block in the marking contest and will go the way of O'Donnell. So they had a 2-on-1 and they messed it up. O'Donnell gets it off to Yagmore. Haven't seen much of him this afternoon yet. This Goodall just comes in. They couldn't quite take it. Lemons off to Sard with that left foot. Oh, tried to get over the top of Malone. Those big go-go gadget arms got up there. Coming through, there was Kaufman. Kicks it inside forward 50, looking for Fiorini. And the ball just beats him out of play. And inside 50 once again for the Suns. And Nicky and Gilbert, 25-14 to the inside 50, favouring the Gold Coast Suns, unsurprisingly.
25-14.
That's massive difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
This early in the game, we're not even obviously halfway through the second quarter. We're just probably just about there now. So the ball back in, grew up, just couldn't quite clasp it on the first attempt, and now the troops all pile on top. And we'll have a ball up, still inside forward 50 for the Gold Coast. One thing we do know about Redland, they'll hang in there, they'll keep coming. They win the ball off an errant handball. Ball comes out. And Goodall takes a nice mark in front. Has a short option. That's Weller. So they're in the middle of Leishon Park here at Yeronga. Now they come to the commentary side of the ground. Have Williams, the former Tasmanian. Just chips it over the top. Trouble. He put Darcy Cameron Reeves under enormous pressure. And there's a good spoil by young Sam Davidson. So they've just got to measure their skill a little bit better, and that was evidenced by that kick that just didn't find its target, which really should at this level. Lowersh just edged Malone under it. Another clearance going the Suns' way, but with no great effect as the ball's ushered out of bounds. Just right in front of the coaching box of Redland, and you wonder what their coach Chris David is actually sort of putting out there.
A bit, isn't he? Young Mitch.
Hallahan, he's had 14 disposals. He and McKenzie both had 14, along with Redland's Blake Brewer. Thompson squeeze a handball out. Salter just gives it to Fiorini. So the Suns go their way again. And good contest. It's actually a push on the marking contest. It'll go against Adrian Williams.
Should have been play on. Just let him. Should have been.
Well, in fact, it will go Redland's way.
I thought it was going to be a Gold Coast free kick. I was going to say should have been a mark, but that's okay.
So Miller, and that wasn't a good kick because coming into spoil was Charlesworth and Christensen. That must have stung a little bit.
His back a bit.
Yeah. No, look, that's the brother of Alan Christensen, and he's a lot skinnier than young Alan, so that would have hurt his little skinny body like mine.
Wrapped up there. The Lemons, but Gold Coast go forward once again. Adkins, Cameron Reeves, now Salter's got a little bit of room. The 44 is being chased by the 44. And gives it back to Cameron Reeves.
Dangerous.
They're trying to find a target, and they find one in Lockie Nyland Rowe. He's played on, so he's got to find in target, and he goes back to his captain in Salter.
They haven't scored a goal yet, or a point yet.
Trouble kick. The kick wasn't a good one, and just mopping it up. An error from the kick, and it was a horrible display there of skill, and it ended with a goal to Donnelly of the Gold Coast Suns. So Chris David,
now,
that's why a lot of coaches end up losing their hair. That was a coach killer.
I know, but how many times have we seen Redlands try to do those little kick arounds? Gold Coast are too switched on for them to play that style of footy. These blokes have played AFL. You can't do that against them. They have to try some other method. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they, instead of going lateral, they need to go vertical.
Start to regroup again, I think, Gil. And try and get the boys back into the main players back into the game.
Well, try something different, Nick. If it's not working, try something different. Anyway, you've got to give Gold Coast credit because they're the ones that's putting the pressure and holding it in there for 50.
They're determined. They want to win, you know.
Grew up. It off.
Shows.
Stephen couldn't get an effective kick first time or real second time, but it does get inside forward 50. Shade was right there with Jonah Like.
Good tackle.
Well wrapped up there.
He's holding the ball.
So, well done.
Well,
so the pressure around the contest has finally worked And it'll be Aaron Christensen that comes up with the ball. His side 40 points adrift. And to say this is important is an absolute understatement that he kicks a goal.
Yeah, a bit lucky, Nick, but, you know, he'll take it, and I'm sure they'll take it because they need a goal.
See how you go after that knee in the back.
Well, that's good. He's still okay, you know.
Yeah. Comes in and makes no mistake.
Good boy.
That's his first for the afternoon, and a badly needed one for Redland.
You would have played a lot of footy against his father, Nicky, Marty Christensen from Geelong.
Yeah.
That's his dad.
Rightio.
Former Woodford West Torrens player as well, Marty.
Yep, he certainly
played
was.
with him. And ripping fellow to boot. So g'day to Marty.
Brother Damien was a good footballer, played for the West Torrens as well.
It's very
before Marty
goal,
played for them.
But we've got to get another one. They've got to get another 2 goals there, Gilbert.
Oh, look, it's just good to give them a bit of confidence, Nick, because they haven't had a lot to get excited about today. So, you know, that might just give them a bit of confidence. They need someone to show some leadership and say, come on, fellas, that's good. Let's get the next one now. Come on.
Beautiful bounce here. Brewer gets a clearance for Redland. That's important. Keogh. Yagmore's right there with him, and the numbers prevail as Mackenzie comes up with it. Just launches it on the left. Goes to half forward. And a good kick. And well done there by Brad Shear.
I was going to say, that's good. Yagmore's, you know, he's been put up in the forward line. At least they're trying something different there.
So Brad Shear loads it up. McPherson was the fly. Walsh just led the ball as it hit the ground and ushered it over the boundary line. So it's inside forward 50 once again. And the Suns attack. So we played 21 minutes of this second quarter. The margin, 34 points. Cameron. Good tackle there by Miller. Adkins. He's wrapped up there by Willis. And Walsh just applies a little bear hug to ensure the ball goes over the line.
Good to see Sard back. He's back on, so he's okay. Probably when you haven't played for a while, you know, you're a bit rusty. Probably you're breathing, you know, you just need to get back into it slowly.
So good set play there, boys. Found Shade over the back and he had a shot for goal.
It's amazing.
And
when we used to play King, we used to be in the forward pocket, centre forward, you know. We used to stay in our spot, you know.
Not anymore, brother. It's different now.
Yeah, you could play another footy game over there.
Redland just got the ball outside their defensive 50, but as Miller kicked it, it just went over the boundary line, so have a throw in.
They're so fit these days, Kanga. They can run all day, these fellas. A lot fitter than when we were playing, Nick.
Lowersh jumped off 2 feet early, got the ball down. Hallahan to Lemons on the left foot. Dangerous kick. Cameron's there. Actually went off his head. Rogerson couldn't take it with him. Yeah, Williams stands in the tackle. They just managed to get it out now. Grew up. His kick goes over the top of Christensen. Batoli Simmons. He just went hard at it. Got a good handball out. They might release here. Edwards.
Got a chance now.
A very good kick. Just bounces, eluding a couple of players. And that just allows Gold Coast to get back on it. I've been impressed with this kid, Lowersh.
Yeah, good player.
The kick wasn't his best effort on that occasion. He just wanted to get out of the area. And mopping it up there was Adrian Williams.
Well, he doesn't play like a ruckman. He actually plays like a ruck rover because he can give you value around the ground and Gold Coast could take advantage of that.
Well, he's had 14 disposals as grew up. He got the ball, and that was a
good mark.
Again, wasn't his best effort as Dawson. No. Charlesworth takes the mark. And that's a good kick.
Beautiful kick, wasn't it?
It was. And loading it up is Williams. And right to the goal line, but it was never on target and registers only a minor.
The ball went the way he ran, Kanga. He didn't sort of want to straighten up, did he?
Gold Coast are making a lot of changes, you know, so they're keeping their players fresh, Kanga.
The player was inside.
How many 50s were today?
The player was inside the permissible area when he kicked it out from full back, so the umpire said that's 50 metres.
That's deep.
Took him to centre half back, so Miller gets it across. Finds Salter. He goes now to Salter. That's not a bad kick.
Oh,
Unable to handle it there was
straight through
Saunders.
the
So elementary errors are just turning the ball over.
There
There's an elementary one from the Gold Coast.
Want to give it back
And
to.
on that occasion, it was Spencer that kicked it out of bounds on the full and handed it on back, and Captain Tom Salter will be the man who takes a free kick.
Well, Tommy was the one that dropped the mark. You can't do that, Tommy, because you're letting your backman down because they're working hard to get the ball out of the defence, and they get it to you and you drop a mark like that. You can't afford to drop marks.
The backman will see that, Gil, and then the next time they go,
well, Nick, it's deflating. It's deflating for the backman.
It's amazing.
Ball ends up with Fiorini. Salter kicked it out of bounds on the full. So Fiorini goes out wide. Kaufman to Mackenzie. Mackenzie down the line, and McPherson has the ball punched away from him by Walsh. Some 55 metres out of sight of the ground.
You've got to feel sorry for some of the backmen sometimes, you know, when they do work hard to try and keep it out of there.
Oh, no.
And then it comes back. When someone does that, it just comes back.
That's right.
So 6 straight goals is the margin. Malone with the hit out, trying to burst through there. It was Batali Simmons, but couldn't do so because he was wrapped up. Kaufman gets a handball away. Fiorini goes around the corner, inside 50. Cameron nearly had it. Couldn't quite have enough of it. Then he backs up and lays the tackle on Howard and keeps the ball in the area as the umpire says, give it to me.
You're a backman, can you, were you?
Thanks for remembering. Never come down and help me. So Brooksby got the hit out around the corner. Oh, nearly bounces over the top.
Oh.
Cameron Reeves had to do well there. Batali Simmons, the 2 hyphens involved there. And Miller just
tackle.
got a foot to it. Donnelly goes around the corner, squares it up. Malone can't take it. Salted eludes him. Mackenzie around the corner on his favoured left and doesn't bring it back far enough. Backman, make these midfielders and forwards look good. You blokes.
Joshua Williams. That was a great tackle by him then in their forward 50 to try and hold it in.
It's just the fitness in the Suns players too. You know, they're still running, Gil, you know.
Yeah, they look a bit. They probably train a lot harder. They probably train harder, brother. You know, with they're you know, they're lucky to be able to fill it. You know, they're obviously the AFL clubs.
So they load up here again. Lemons from outside 50 goes bang.
That's class.
So Lemons, when life gives you lemons, on this occasion, he made lemonade in the form of 6 points.
Mitch Hallahan, again, the mark and the kick he gave off.
Yeah, he's killing him in the middle, isn't he?
He's just running the mark. A very, very fit man. He's just doing well.
You know, just the quality of Lemons. You know, everyone else is trying to work hard to get the ball, missing goals, missing tackles. Lemons, just give me the ball, bang. 50 straight through the goals.
If you go to fish with Lemons too, can't you?
So, that's comedy, courtesy of Nicky Winmar, or attempted. Hallahan was the one that gave him the handball boys, and it came from Brooksby. So it was a good linking play that allowed Lemons to really come through. So ball back underway again. Malone. Here's Brewer. He said he won't stop trying. Yagmore slips it on that left foot. A left foot which is prodigious generally. And
that's a big kick on it from out of there.
Oh, that'll suit him, Nick. At least
that was his first kick. I mean, I don't blame him kicking like that. Probably.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that move of putting him in the forward line because, you know, they've got to try something.
Yeah.
Just the 3 disposals, says Petty Yagmore. So ball back into play again. They need him to have about 25 or 30 because he's dangerous when he gets hold of it as the ball spills back out of play from the ruck contest.
Well, he was in the back line earlier on and he was containing the man, so... Oh, a bit going on there. Oh, the big fella.
Bit of big fellas into it.
A bit angry.
Not lemonade, is it?
And Lowersh. Lowersh just buffeted or dragged, in the umpire's opinion, dragged Goodall out of the way. So it was a free kick in the ruck contest. And Jack Goodall can go back and narrow this margin.
Is that their first free kick? Is that their first free kick in the forward line, Redlands?
Well, they've had a couple. Yeah. O'Donnell got one before and missed up there.
More importantly, they need a goal, so he has to kick it.
Can't look forward. Can't look back. You've only got to look forward, and they need this one now. Jeez. And that's
it's not even half time. You're going to kick like that. It's just like you don't miss goals when you're playing against good quality team. You should never ever do that. You ever seen Tane Lockett miss a goal like that?
So key to success as Mackenzie just goes bang. That was a monster. He kicks it out to the outer wing. Ball spills free. Salter. Is it off to Batali Simmons? His kick just doesn't find the target, boys. And they turn it over again. And here's Bowes. Bowes just goes a little dinky one around the corner. He can't quite find it. Redland, handball into space, finds Damien Stephen. Stephen, inside forward 50. Mackenzie's there as well, just coming through. He couldn't get on the first occasion, but good strength just to bust a tackle and be able to get it away. Here they go again, and that's a good kick there.
I'd like to see Yagmore going
Lowish
on the board for about 5 or 10 minutes, you know.
And they're away.
He's a big boy. He's quick.
Davidson, his kick goes to Yagmore as he pushed back to help out.
He's a very strong, bustling boy. You should put him in the middle, try and get the ball out sometimes, you know.
Gave it to Brewer. Brewer looking for Rayner, just stood under it. And then as he gathered it, Shade got him high. So the umpire will set the mark. Gives it to Yagmore. We know he can belt it. It's got plenty on it. And that is a great conveyance of the football.
There you go.
What a goal.
The boy should be in there. He should be in the middle.
Nah, that's why you've got to
go straight in the centre now to try and get out, because he's got a big shoulder on him. Yeah. He's a very fit boy, and he's got a great kick on him. If he gets it out of that centre, Gilbert, one kick is down in the goal square.
Yeah, I know, but they're getting the ball out of there, brother. But they got no one kicking goals up forward, so they have to leave him there, because if they pull him out, who's going to kick the goals? Can anyone kick goals like that for that Redland side?
Well, they got to find
no one.
Got to find,
because he makes something out of nothing. That's why you got to put him in the forward line.
Well, we've moved Redlands with that great Peter Yagmore goal to 6-1-37 to the Gold Coast Suns 11-7-73. We played 30 and a half minutes of this second quarter.
Well, if they need any inspiration and some motivation, well, if that can't get you going, if that can't get the blood pumping, nothing will.
Got to go again.
So Malone got the hit out. Here's Brewer again. Got it half back and gave it back to Yagmore, which is on the goal.
Tackle.
That's a great tackle from Malone, and the mailman delivered.
5 minutes
Gives it to Salter. Salter up forward. Kaufman. Good defensive work. Christensen almost, or slipped he did. Saunders.
That was in. That was in.
He was. I think his method was right. He knew what he wanted to do. He just couldn't get it there. And once he lost control of it, he just threw the foot at it.
One more goal before the siren. Like 31 minutes gone now, Kanga. They get one more goal here, and they're back in half time. You know.
The ball back into play.
Yagmore,
Goodall. Yagmore's there.
Get it. Hold the ball.
And the umpire says, with plenty of players around the contest.
Be a handy one, Nick. You're right. It'd be a handy goal if they can get one, because Gold Coast have just dominated this quarter.
They get it back, and they go into half time. They regroup, come back out again.
So Kaufman went up in the ruck. Christensen tries to come through with it. Hallahan lays a good tackle. We'll go again.
You know what? He's pretty gutsy, little Christensen. He's a little skinny bloke, Nick, either way he goes in for that ball.
He does. He goes in very hard. There we go.
Goodall was looking for Yagmore to come through on that occasion. Couldn't quite find it. It's a stack of players there. Gold Coast bring it back out, and it is Walsh that comes up with the mark and can go back and shoot for goal. The margin's 36 points at the moment. This will bring it back to an even 30.
The Suns have stopped the last 5 minutes, Gilbert.
Yeah, well, that's good, because Redlands haven't done anything for the quarter, basically, so they had to do something eventually, Nick, and more importantly, they got to kick a goal.
So Kyle Walsh comes in, shoots for goal. That looks good off the boot. That's a better one.
There's the siren.
Right on the half-time siren.
Now go back and regroup and come out again.
And the man who came in, he was named as an emergency, Kyle Walsh, narrows the margin to 30 points. And that quarter is now complete. It was 5 goals to the Gold Coast Suns, 3 to Redlands, including the last 2. And you just give them some hope. We know Redlands will keep coming, but the margin is a formidable one at the first major break, or the only major break we have being half-time. And you go in with a little bit of confidence, Redland.
We all know what the third quarters are. It's premiership quarters, Gilbert.
That's right.
You know, they're going to come out and regroup again.
You know what I like about that after they kicked that goal? All the blokes on the Redlands on the bench, instead of them walking to the change rooms and just going through the emotions. They all walked out to their mates, met them, and they're walking off together. When they're walking off, that's when they should be saying, fellas, look, we're playing pretty ordinary. We're playing ordinary, but look, we're 4 goals, 5 goals down. All it takes is just a couple of goals. You just don't know what might happen. But on the other hand, Gold Coast just absolutely dominated that quarter, and they've dominated the first half.
Let's see how they go.
Well, just leading possession getters. McKenzie, he's been good. 19 first half disposals. Hallahan, he's had 17. And then Low Ursh, he's been a surprise package. He's had 11 hitouts, 15 possessions.
Impressive.
Yeah, Fiorini has had 14. And for Redlands, Blake Brewer, unsurprisingly, 19 first half disposals, a couple of goals to go with it. Damien Stevens had 15 and Tom Salter 14. So a 30-point margin, boys. I think we'll have a break as these two teams have a break also. We'll be back with you for the second half. And we're back from half-time here at Yeronga, the beautiful Leishon Park, as the shadows start to lengthen. And one side will have the shadows start to lengthen on their season for 2016. And at the moment, it's Redlands who are behind. And the shadows in a must-win game are lengthening for them. So 30 points adrift they are of the Gold Coast Suns. Mark Kennedy's my name, and joining me this afternoon is two champions of the AFL caper in Gilbert McAdam, former Saint and former Brisbane Bear, along with the Magarey medalist, and also 251 games of AFL experience in Nicky Winmar with St Kilda, and lastly with the Western Bulldogs boys. And it was exciting, but the Gold Coast Suns really started to get on top, despite the fact that Redlands kicked the last couple of goals for the first half. Yeah,
look, Gold Coast, they've dominated the game, there's no doubt about it, and they've had all the play, and they probably should have been more goals ahead. They've kicked 7 points. They've had 18 scoring shots to 8, so that's a massive difference. But the good thing is for Redlands, they kicked the last 2 goals of that second quarter, Nick, and that just give them a bit of hope. And if they can just win this quarter, you just don't know what might happen in the last.
Spot on what you're saying, Gilbert. Like 18 shots to 8. It's a lot of scoring, and it'd be interesting how they go this quarter, because if we all know that it's third quarters of premiership quarters. We'll see how the Redlands go. If they get the first couple, it'll be good.
Well, one thing we do know about Redlands, boys, is that they manage to hang in there. And just when you think they're out of the game, they can really get that run and carry going and get it forward. Now, the biggest problem that they've had is getting it past half forward on a consistent basis for the afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. And, when they have, what's happening is that because of the way the Gold Coast are playing, they're making Redlands play up the ground. So what's happening is when they get the ball out or when they run it back, all the Redlands players are up the ground and they're not switched on enough to be able to keep possession and go vertical, I suppose, because there's something going on there. And their little Christensen's, he might be a little skinny little bloke, but he's not frightened.
No, that's exactly right.
Good to see one, and you haven't seen a lot of the Redlands players show emotion like he has. I reckon that's a positive.
And we're underway here in this second half. No real clear winner of possession. That was Mackenzie just trying to feed it out. Now they've got a bit of clear room to move. Adam Sard is the man. He puts the pedal down on the metal. Just a scrubby kick inside forward 50. Cameron worked his way to the front but couldn't clasp it. Now he gets it back on the handball. Goes around the corner and just to the near side. It was a good handball out of the pack that found Cameron too. I just couldn't quite pick up who that player was, boys.
I was going to say, well done to Sardin. That was his first kick. He looked like looked good to see him running and having a bounce and kicking it like that.
So Brewer got the kick out from full back and then was knocked down after that, says the umpire. So 50-metre penalty, and it'll go against Willis. Can't miss him with those two-tone green fluorescent boots.
Yeah. They probably need the first goal of the quarter too, Redlands. Be handy.
It certainly would. So Brewer goes out wide. Finds Cameron Reeves, who in turn gets it over to Stephen. Damien Stephen, man with 2 first names. Goes up just right almost to the forward 50 and finds Thompson and finds Goodall, but it didn't go the required distance, so it's play on. So Thompson comes back in, lays a tackle, and the ball's now wrapped up. So they found a target, they just didn't find it well enough to be paid a mark.
Bit unlucky there for Thompson. I thought it was long enough, Kanga, but, to the umpire it wasn't.
Wouldn't like to buy real estate off Nicky Winmar. As the kick forward only finds Keogh, who in turn finds Sard. He'll always like to move it. Finds Kaufman, who in turn finds the young man there in Williams, takes a bounce and off he goes, but now he turns it over. So Gruel wins it over to O'Donnell. He's not sure where to go, so he handballs it just onto the ground to nobody. Howard, he handballs it directly to the Gold Coast Suns. Cameron, under pressure, just toes it forward. Malone, he says, let's get it out of here. Let's get it out forward 50. Goodall comes out to meet it, couldn't take it. Thompson sharks it, now shoots it. Which way is it going to bounce? Ooh. It bounces the wrong way and through for a point. But they manufactured a shot on goal at least there, boys.
Oh, look, just by getting the feeling of the game in the third quarter, Nicky.
Yeah.
Redlands, I get a feeling Redlands will come out to play, and I just get a feeling that Gold Coast have taken the foot off the pedal just a little bit from the second quarter, or especially the last 5 minutes when Redlands kicked those last 2 goals.
From the kick out, ends up with Williams. Bowes is the target, couldn't take it in the hands. Didn't have a lot of pressure there. The young man dropped it, and stoppage results. So early stages, no goals here in the third quarter. 3 minutes gone. Crucial first goal it will be. Salters there for Redland. Just gets up on his feet and just tries to barge his way through. Couldn't do so.
This is the first time of the game that I've only seen one Gold Coast player up past the centre circle. They forced the Gold Coast players to go back and block the Redlands forward line.
It goes over the top, and it's rolling for a goal. And Salter gets the first crucial one for the Bombers. And a captain's goal it is.
Yeah, look, like I said, the way the Redlands had come out, you could just feel that they were more switched on in this first 5 minutes than Gold Coast. You got to remember, Gold Coast, Redlands kicked the last 2 goals of the second quarter, and they kicked the first goal. So Redlands have kicked the last 3 goals straight, Nicky. That's a big plus for them.
Yeah, they've got to get the next one too, Gilbert. As you were saying, like the last 3 goals was pretty good. That's very important for them, but still got 24 points down.
Scoreboard pressure is important, and momentum. And it's amazing what happens when a side comes back hard. If sides can roll over who are in front. We're going to see possibly that as Malone gets it out from the centre. Unable to take it there was Charlesworth. Thompson's there, gets a slick handball away. Christensen couldn't handle it though. Gets a little handball over the top. He was looking for Thompson again. A little bit of trick work there, and just didn't find his toe.
He's probably lucky that he didn't get penalised for throwing the ball then, because that's what he did.
Yeah, essentially. Malone had front spot. Howard just tripped over his opponent. Batoli Simmons inside forward 50.
Lemons.
Here's Stephen. Tackled by Hallahan, but manages to get it away. Here's Hallahan again, gets up and bustles his way through. Now they might have a clear bit of space. He waxes with Kempy, does Hallahan. Gets it forward. Good spoil there by Williams, who lays the tackle again. Walsh to Nyland Rowe, now to Rogerson. Kicks it short and finds Batoli Simmons.
Kick it down there. Oh, what
kick wasn't a good one. And coming out there, with a bullet-like pass with Shade. Now they move it quickly. Kempy, open forward line. Which way is it going to go? This'll hurt, but it doesn't because it just went to the wrong side of the stick.
Very poor kick there in the forward line for Redlands. Kanga?
They should have done better.
Yeah.
They should have just kicked it long and just give the bloke... Just kick it long. See what happens.
So the margin 25 points now.
They're always looking for the perfect kick all the time. Kick it long.
Yeah.
Go towards Malone. He got up with the one hand. Well done there by Lemons. They're just working hard. Edwards does well. Gets it to the big man in Malone. That's cooked it. Absolutely cooked it over the top of O'Donnell. Kaufman. He just doesn't cough it up. He just keeps it. And the resultant kick from Davidson finds the big boy in Luersch. He just belts it up forward. Brooksby's the target, and too big for Adkins. And you can see the difference in the frames of the two players. Adkins has the height, probably not too dissimilar to Brooksby, but it's just that bulk of Brooksby that wins out.
Very strong there. He's behind him too, and he still managed to mark it.
Nicky, look how long his arms are. His arms are longer than Tarzan's. Have a look how long his arms are. He's almost touching his knee.
Yeah.
What a body, what a frame.
So the big boy comes in, he kicks it from 40, starts it right and hangs it right. So a minor, but pushes the margin out to 26 points.
It's just put a little bit of doubt in their mind, just a little bit. That's all you need.
That's all it is, Gilbert.
Well, Nick, it's like a cancer. If you can spread it, well, it's working.
So Howard brings it in, didn't go the required distance, so Gruer's got to go quickly, and he does. Goes to the outer side. O'Donnell just arrives in the nick of time to spoil Adam Sard. And the ball out of play, so we'll have a stoppage, a throw in, some 55 to 60 metres around from the Gold Coast goal, out of side.
They've definitely taken the foot off the pedal, Gold Coast.
They have,
Nicky.
We'll see what they can bring back to the table. Salter to Gruer. You call that a lot over the course of the season. Sard tries to impact the contest.
Go.
That's Keogh. He's wrapped up. He loses it. So well done by Yagmore there. Get the tackle.
He hasn't got a lot of possession, but I'll tell you what, he's made them count today.
So he kicks the ball inside 50.
Look at that.
Couldn't quite find the target there. And I think Malone just got rolled on as the player went to ground. Big Kaufman. He's a big unit, Big Kaufman.
He got rolled and stomped on too, Ganger.
Yep, so he's up and about though, Malone. And he might be that forward target if O'Donnell plays on the ball, and Malone might be the one they're looking for up forward.
We'll just chuck him up there for 5 minutes and just do it and then see what happens. Because you can always put it back.
Kaufman gets it away from the stoppage. Howard couldn't control it, although Nyland Rowe just paddled it in his direction. Gets it off to Salter. Salter with a little bit of room to move. He just chips it down the line. Weller can't handle it, but he gives it off to Walsh. Walsh inside forward 50. Over the top, Lemons is there. Like was there as well. It was body on body, man on man, and the ball spilled through for a point.
Good play by Lemons then, to just spill the ball, and it was a great contest by Lemons.
He went in and initiated contact as a defender, and that's actually not a bad tactic as Sard brings it back in. The kick wasn't a bad one. Gets over the top. Well done there by McPherson. He was under pressure and he kicked it. And what's this going to be, the call? Because it rolls out of bounds. But the umpire said it was under pressure. That's okay, so we'll have a throw in. You never know what they're going to call sometimes.
Yeah, I know, but that would have been cruel if he would have said that deliberate then. What else could he have done?
No disagreement, but importantly, in our view, he probably made the right call. Well, O'Donnell had front spot. Gruer, under pressure, just gets it wide, and that'll just run out of bounds. So Blake Gruer, he's been worn actually pretty close there by Willis.
He's been good.
They're putting a lot of pressure on. They just got to get it up and kick a goal down. Gets it off.
They seem to be winning the clearances too now. Is that fair?
So there's a free kick. We go to Big O'Donnell.
Ball off. Give it to somebody going past.
Front spot is very important. O'Donnell kicks it long. Keogh and Goodall. Keogh did well. Shade. He probably caught one in the back. Keogh. He's wrapped up by Goodall over the boundary line. We'll have in fact, it's not over the boundary line. The umpire will just call for a ball up.
You see that last free kick there, Kanga, Gilbert?
No,
a ruckman had to go back and kick it. Someone should be running past.
And handballing.
Handball off. Get it out quick as they can.
Just in the background, I see Ray Windsor, former Central District player and Brisbane Bear. Here checking out this Northeast AFL action. And winning a free kick there was Dawson. Now gives it off to Sard. The run, the carry, the bounce. On the left foot he goes. And kicks it with great purpose and skill and finds Clay Cameron. That was a good build-up. What about the zip shown by the man who's just coming back from the bad hamstrings?
Yeah, look, in the first half, he didn't do that in the first half because you know what? He's missed a lot of footy. Sometimes your confidence is down a little bit. Yeah. And all it takes is just one little run, and he did it before. As soon as he did that, he's done 3 runs. He's got his confidence. That's what he needs now. All he just needs to do is keep building on it. And he just wants to get through the game and, he wants to look forward to next week, get some run in his legs.
So Clay Cameron comes in. He's got 3 for the afternoon. He won't have 4 because that's right across the face. Just squeezes in for a behind. So they're just creeping away over Gold Coast. 26 points.
4 minutes has gone by and there's only 1 goal scored.
So great to see Adam Sard back in action as he's taking a break on the boundary line. Miller just belts it out wide. Well done there by Big Brooksby. To the cross, and they work it again. Hallahan from inside the centre square, looking for a target. Cameron just spoiled there, Rogerson, but Cameron backs up again, gives the handball off. Unable to take it there was Willis, gives the handball off, and then Redlands apply the pressure and tie the ball up. Gold Coast won't be unhappy with that. It's in the area, but the pressure Redland's good.
Hey, the complex of the game's changed. Redlands are having a go now, and they put it to Gold Coast. It's up to Gold Coast to respond now.
Oh.
The umpire will ball it up again. Plenty of players around the contest here. As Brewer trying to get involved. Trying to burst through as a little pipe cleaner in Williams couldn't do so. A little bit skinny.
What's he, a plumber?
No, as Gruel brings it away. Now off to Batoli Simmons. Goes down the line. Yagmore's head does well because he just keeps his feet and he belts it inside forward 50. There's nobody home. Shade is going to be there in plenty of time. Nobody within 20 metres of him. He can just size it up and finds a target just outside defensive 50. That is Trent McKenzie.
Look, he had nothing else to do, Nick, so that was a right kick. At least he got it back. At least he just kicked it long.
Yeah. But
short kick goes to Davidson.
Bit of panic there.
Well, there was a goal, I think, kicked in the VFL from about that spot that Yagmore was at the other week. I'm just trying to think of the player it was, as Brooksby takes a good contested mark.
You're right, I did see it.
So it goes wide. Has Willis out there, or in fact it's Keogh. Keogh just chips it in short, finds a target inside forward 50, and it's Brad Shear.
That's better. See how Gold Coast is starting to run more? At the first 5 to 10 minutes of that quarter, they weren't running. They were just like waiting because they probably thought their mate was going to do it for them because they did it in the first half. What's happened is Redlands has made them snap out of it and think, hey, come on, fellas, we've got to get the ball first before we start running away from our mates.
He's got to kick it, though.
So Shear, he's a good talent, and this is a good reason why he's a good talent, because he makes teams pay. So Brad Shear, that's his first. And that's their first for the third quarter. The Gold Coast Suns re-establishes a pretty handy lead. And it is 32 points now. It is Gold Coast 12, 11.83. Redland 8-3-51. We've played 14 and 3/4 minutes.
Yeah, Nicky, the trouble is when you're playing catch-up footy, if the opposition kicks a goal, it just makes it harder and harder again, doesn't it? That's a good answer by the Suns.
But they put a lot of pressure on the Suns, but it's just not enough.
You can't question their endeavour, the way they've come out after half time. They've come out with a lot of they want to play.
Purpose.
They're making them earn it.
Purpose, that's the word.
Brewer runs onto it. In close attendance was Willis again. Tried to wear him like a glove, but Brewer, he just keeps going. He's at 25 disposals for the afternoon. Sorry. Go again. Isaiah Edwards lays a tackle. And ball just moved ever so slightly the way of the Bombers. Well done there by Brooksby, protected the area. Gold Coast will come away with it again, just absolutely roosting it. Inside forward 50 were the Suns. Ball ends up there.
Good tackle.
With Rogerson laying a very good tackle. We'll pick up who's actually got it in a moment. We got him front on, and it's Donnelly. So the top-up player from Southport. Malone uncontested. Salter. The kick wasn't a good one. Sarr just handles it like he's been out of the game for no time flat, but the kick didn't match the pickup, and Brad Howard was there all alone to take it.
Just the way he tackled it then, you could see that he's got a bit of confidence from them last couple of runs.
There's Rayner. Off to Miller. Now to Yagmore. Yagmore down the line, and that's a free kick. Just Shade lost contact with his opponent.
Keep going, Yagmore. Keep going.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
And Yagmore just checks his kick at the last moment. Yes! Goes over the top. And as Nicky Winmar barracks, which, as an independent commentator,
that was an exciting play. It's good.
Batoli Simmons it is who took the mark and can go back and kick the goal.
One of the best plays for today.
It was great play. No, well, he set it up. He kicked it,
you know.
No, but he set it up and kicked it. The good thing is he ran.
I just got in there. A couple more goals, Gilbert, and they're going to be right.
So Batoli Simmons, he made the goal umpire work there, but he got it home nonetheless. And the margin now back to 26 points. So they've made a little indent into that half-time lead. It was 30 at half-time, so they're 4 points better off, but they need to get back within striking distance before three-quarter time, boys.
Yeah, look, well done by Yagmai there. And, you know, look for him to follow that up. He ran away from two Gold Coast guys then. And he beat them, and they should have been aware of it. But no, look.
Get the next one, and the next one, and they're only, 14 points down the last quarter almost, you know? To go. They're winning this quarter at the moment.
Well, that's what I said at half time. They need to win the quarter and just see what happens. Assess the score at three-quarter time, and then they know where they're going into the last quarter with.
Beautiful bounce here. Yeah, ripping bounce. It was height
bounce,
on it.
wasn't it? Yeah.
No real clear winner. I think both ruckmen were admiring how what a beautiful bounce it was. Ball goes Redland's way. Doing well there was
Yagmore
Lemons,
again.
but Yagmore just lays a very nice tackle, just holds it up and stops him dead in his tracks, Sean Lemons.
I'll tell you what sort of a impact Yagmore's making is that they've got McKenzie on him. They put McKenzie on Yagmore. That's how much of an impact he's had on this game in the last quarter and a bit. So
That's out of bounds. That's
Deliberate out of bounds
There you go, deliberate.
paid there. So taking a free kick will be Adrian Williams. Goes short as a target there in Darcy Cameron Reeves. The hyphen, one of two hyphenated names, surnames in the Redlands outfit. Christensen gets an errant little tap on from the Suns, goes right to the goal square. Standing up high was Max Spencer. Well done.
Well done.
And just kept his feet well. And now he moves the ball off to Donnelly. Just saved the day there, Spencer. Now they get themselves out of trouble. Oh, just dangerous possession there. Davidson in trouble. And that's holding the ball every day of the week. He was just trapped and not sure where to go. And it was Jack Bowes who gives the free kick away.
Gold Coast have stopped doing what they did in the first half.
Rayner and Adkins just messing around with the ball. Now they go a bit more direct. Sard stands up, does well, defends beautifully. Good little handball there by Dawson. Couldn't get any great effect to it in the end as the ball rolls out of bounds. Now, I like the way these young top-up players are trained. They're trained to stand in the tackle, and they're a little bit better advanced in terms of their body shapes these days to be able to compete a bit more with the men.
They're going to keep it away from Sard down there too.
So they almost look like a throw out of the pack as the ball ends up going right out straight in front of us here in the commentary position. And the boundary umpire's made to do a bit of work. As Blake Brewer comes back on the ground and is welcomed by Willis.
Hallahan, you haven't called him for a while.
No.
They've put a stop on him.
Howard has his kick smothered. Fiorini lays a good tackle there. That was a high shot there.
Umpire was 30 metres away. Here we go.
That was a high shot by Batali Simmons. And the young man, Charlesworth, he'll get up. He's a tough cookie, is young Charlesworth.
Gadget arms there.
Played in the middle of the ground last week for Southport. Gives a handball from Fiorini.
Strong
That was
tackle.
a strong tackle, but managed to get his kick away.
That was a brilliant tackle, wasn't it?
Kempe
What a tackle.
had his kick, but infringing in the protected area was Blake Brewer, and 50 metres will result. So Nicholas Kempe will go and shoot from no more than about 20 metres out from goal.
Leave the game alone. Come on, it's just.
I don't think
there was anything there.
I know Brewer argued his innocence.
I think he's done that twice. He's given away two 50-metre penalties like that. Someone like him, he shouldn't be doing that because he's one of the experienced players in the side.
Wrong place at the wrong time. As Kempe comes in, shouldn't be too much of a problem, and it isn't. So a disappointing outcome for Redlands in terms of a goal coming from a 50-metre penalty. And it re-establishes that lead back out to 30 points. And young Nicholas Kempe, I think that's his... I'll pick him up in a second. That is his second goal for the afternoon.
Oh, look, there's something about that young fella. He certainly knows how to find the ball.
And it's great. As we just touched on, I think the standard of top-up player coming through the NEAFL competition, or these AFL sides, the academies, are just preparing them ever so well to be able to compete at this level and hopefully push on up even greater levels into the AFL.
Yeah, well, some people choose the academy, some don't. It's up to... Everyone's got a different opinion of them. Sometimes... Anyway, I don't want to go into that now because it's a pretty long conversation, that one.
Here's the man we've talked about being a little bit missing in action so far in the third quarter. Hallahan goes inside forward 50. Brooksby drops probably what he should have taken. Here's Bowes. Just gets a little dinky kick. No real impetus to it. Winning the ball now is Stephen. Off to Adrian Williams. Has his kick smothered. So Gold Coast, they'll have another chance now. The up and under comes. Brooksby, he's got front spot. Adkins, he slipped over, and I thought he recovered enough to impact the contest, but the strong hands of Big Brooksby won the day.
Tarzan arms again.
Yeah,
like Gil was saying.
Yeah, but Nicky, there was 3 Redlands.
I know.
There was 3 Redlands, one Greer should have come in as the second man over, or the third man over the top.
Look at the arms on him there.
I don't know. It's probably easy up here to say it, but... Well, there's 3 on 1. They just should have brought the ball to ground. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, true.
So Brooksby makes no mistake. And we're getting into that perilous position for Redlands now of 38 points behind as Brooksby just puts one through. And that's his second for the afternoon. So they move to 14-11-95, the Gold Coast Suns. Redlands 9-3-57. And we've played 24 minutes of this third quarter, boys.
Going back in that last 5 minutes there, Gil, about Gruesh not being that close to the bloke before,
Yeah, I know.
It's just, he's a leader of the Redlands, and it's just his mistake maybe cost him the last 2 goals.
Yeah.
And the boys might have said, oh, well, if he's not going to be part of us getting back, well, what can we do?
Nah, look, Gold Coast has dominated the last 5 or so minutes anyway, Kanga, so they're getting back on top again.
With that mistake.
So McPherson took the mark from the clearance. Clay Cameron's at target, and he's got it. Just a little bit of space from the body of Adrian Williams, and clever enough to clasp it in his big hands, and he'll be able to go back and shoot for goal. Well, attempting for number 4.
Well, he'd want to kick the goal because Keegan Brooksby, he was there and just in front of the goal square, and he was on a bloke that's 2 foot smaller than him.
Yeah.
He could have kicked it to him, but he ignored him, so he needs to kick this.
You back yourself as a forward, and Cameron just goes across the face, and Malone kills it and just rushes it behind.
You wouldn't have passed it off, Nicky. You would have had a shot for goal.
What?
Redland bring it back in. Rogerson, Karua. This is a run and gun style play that Redland try to work to get their run and the carriers involved. And when it comes off, it looks great, but when it doesn't, it can come back real quick and come back to bite you.
You'd have played under first, Gilbert.
I'll bring it out again. Leave the by-play for three-quarter time, you blokes. Yagmore trips over. Lemons ends up, gets it off Keogh. Just breaks a tackle. Now puts it back inside forward 50. And coming out, that's a good mark there by Clay Cameron.
Great.
He was third man down, then gets up quickly, looks for a pass and target and finds one in Daniel Charlesworth.
Great mark by Cameron.
What about the attack? The intent to go after the football. You had Rogerson and also Adrian Williams there. And I thought Adrian Williams actually would have probably held the ground and called Rogerson into the ball.
Well, Williams either should have marked it or he should have punched it.
Too easy then.
But he didn't, so... No, that was a good mark. That was a brilliant mark by Cameron.
And the resultant kick finds its target. And it was quiet there. I think everybody was holding their breath just to see what was going to happen. And it was a good finish there eventually by Daniel Charlesworth. And Gold Coast get another. And fair to say, boys, I think this game is just about iced or bar it, a miracle happening.
Oh, look, it was good. It was great. Redlands come out and had a go because they needed to, and you might as well not die wondering. You might as well have a crack and see what happens, and that's what they've done. And Gold Coast they're just far better with their disposal and the way they run the ball, and they got some big key men, Nicky. That Redlands haven't got many key players up forward.
They just got to keep going.
Gold Coast have got a few options.
Well, it's one of the big things that they'll go hunting for in the off-season. Regardless of where they finish in season 2016, Redland, they need some tools. They're bereft. So McKenzie just tried to break the tackle of Yagmore. Inside forward, 50, big collision. Good courage by all men involved there.
Tough.
Redlands managed to come away with the ball. Williams, he's in trouble. Breaks McPherson's tackle, then I was going to say kicks for goal almost. Going the wrong way, and Salter was there and involved there.
You knew who went for that mark before? Clay Cameron. If he's not taking marks like that, that's Charlie Dixon type.
That was heavy
way he went for that ball. That was brilliant.
So they run. They're trying to get around. Howard kicks down the line. The kick wasn't good. He was just knocked over as he kicked it. Having to apply the pressure there was Christensen. The ball spills out. Here's a Hallahan. Look to go backwards. Finds Spencer. Now back to Hallahan. Saunders just backheels it. Keogh's there. Here's Hallahan again. His handball doesn't hit the target. Spills over the boundary line and out of bounds on the outer wing.
Yeah, no, look, they're having a go. They're still hanging in there, Redlands. They just got to keep persistent, Nick, and that's all you can do.
Just got to finish it off, Gilbert. That's what they got to do.
They win the clearance again. Hallahan. Adkins this time gets the spoil in front of Brooksby, although Brooksby just pushes him off the ball and now takes it inside forward 50, but Miller just interjects at the right time and wins the day with a mark. Plays on quickly, finds Walsh. Walsh will kick it right in front of us here. McKenzie had front spot in front of Yagmore. He'll just reload it back. Left footer in front of another left footer, and that is an absolute pinpoint pass. And
50
Miller
almost
just pushed his opponent over in McPherson, and umpire thought he went down a little bit too easily, so didn't pay a 50.
I don't think McKenzie will be in the NEAFL for too long the way he's playing, because he's cutting them up today.
So 25 disposals, 18 of which have been on that deadly left foot, 6 inside 50s.
So he's been quite king in that number 24 on Redlands,
Edwards. So that's a good kick by McPherson. Just started it right at that left goal post and just faded enough back to the middle to be another goal for the Gold Coast.
He's a lively type, McPherson. You know, there's something... Yeah, he's a bit of a goer, you know, but more importantly, he can kick goals, Nicky. And, you know, yourself, if you're a small forward, if you can't kick goals, you won't stay on the side. And if that's something that he can...
Right.
You know, it's something he can have in his tricks, in his bag of tricks. That's what he needs.
Tell you what, Redland's going to be very careful the way they're going to finish this game. He could lose by a big margin, or they can just fight it out. You know?
So 51 points is now the margin. Approaching 31 minutes of this third quarter.
Look at that bounce.
And goes again. Loersch does well, followed his own footy up, but the kick was smothered. Just extracting it was Batoli Simmons. Goes to half forward as the siren sounds. And a few heads thrown back in a little bit of despair from Redlands, but the Gold Coast, they're walking off. Heads high because they have a 51-point lead at three-quarter time. And said, barring a calamity, it is going to be a Gold Coast victory.
Yeah, no, look, well done to the Redlands, the way they come out after half-time. And they had to do that because if they wanted to win the game, they needed to make a statement. And they did early because they kicked the first goal. They kicked the last two of the third quarter and the first goal of the last quarter. So that gives them a bit of confidence. And, you know, all of a sudden the Gold Coast weren't the side they were in the first half. But you got to give them credit. They bounced back once they got things happening. And when Sard got the ball a few times and ran it out, you know, that probably gave him a bit of confidence.
Yeah, he did well when he did get the ball and run it out.
And even McKenzie, Nicky, like the way he uses the ball, you know, he's always uses it well. So,
if you got tools in the forward line, why not go long, you know?
Well, and
they're going to mark it.
And that's been the difference in the game is the Gold Coast forwards are far better than the Redlands forwards because they've got big guys, more taller.
And 49 forward entries to 30.
That's massive.
Gives them plenty of opportunity.
It's huge.
Yeah. So we'll let the two coaches address their respective charges. And the margin of three-quarter time here at Yeronga at Leishon Park is 51 points in favour of the Gold Coast Suns. We'll see you back after the break and see what Redland can fight back with in this last quarter. See you soon. And the Redlands, the last side to break from their huddle. Some messages coming from their coach, Chris David. And I'll have to be very succinct in what the messages are to put them into action, because they trail by 51 points. The Gold Coast Suns well in control of this game. And Mark Kennedy's my name, joined by Gilbert McAdam and Nicky Winmar. And Gilbert, it looks like Coach Stephen Daniel, the Gold Coast Suns coach, has things well in control with his charges.
Yeah, look, they just seem a bit more controlled with their ball movement, and just their composure is a bit better than Redlands. Like, every time the Redlands get the ball, it seems like they're rushed all the time, whereas Gold Coast seem to have a bit of time, and that's probably because they got a better understanding of each other. And No, look, it's just set up for a good game, and you just never know. I mean, it's only a quarter to go, and they're 4 or 5 goals behind. But if they can just come out, maybe kick the first one, just see what happens.
7 goals behind.
But if Gold Coast come out and they kick the first one, well,
be all
it's
over.
Almost stumps, yeah.
Yeah, that's sad way he ran that ball out the back line. Like if you see him do it a couple of times today or this quarter, game's well and truly over.
So leading possession get under the way with the game. Mackenzie and Hallahan have got 25 apiece. Grua has 26 for Redland as we see a secondary stoppage. So leading goal kickers, Jack Bowes and also Clay Cameron have 3 apiece for the Suns. As I think we're going to see another stoppage, a little bit of angst.
Hey, bit going on off the ball.
And that's Rayner. And Lemons, he's an angry little man, is James Rayner.
Well, he can't just keep punching him. Numpire's got to report him or stop him from doing it. You can't just keep punching him in the gut.
Howard got the ball forward, got it from Grua. Just keep racking him up. Rayner lays a tackle. Saad does well. Fiore. And that's
Hammy.
No!
Yeah, that's Trent
McKenzie.
McKenzie gone
down. Oh, no.
And he does not look in a good way.
That's a shattering injury, that is.
I reckon it's his ankle.
No,
he hasn't moved, boys.
So you hope it's not his knee.
I hope he's all right.
He just has gone down.
Is the camera on him?
And I can see his hand between his legs.
He hasn't even moved.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's something a little bit different wrong because he just... initially I thought it was a hamstring or something to that effect.
You know what?
He's just collapsed.
It looked like here that he hit like he fell over a sprinkler or he fell over something because it just looked weird.
He's moving now.
Unless his ankle gave away on him or his knee.
I think his thigh did it.
We just hope the best for Trent McKenzie there. And he is up. Oh, it's just what worried me is that he just did not move.
No, it's his right ankle.
And he's walking off, which is a real positive sign. Unassisted by the trainers at the moment, although they are right by his side. And it'll be interesting to hear the report as to what's actually transpired with Trent McKenzie because that was very, very strange how it all happened. And we are going to try and see if we've got a bit of a replay shortly.
Almost like Wallace thing when he slipped over, like with the Bulldogs last week.
I think it's a hamstring, personally.
Yeah.
But I think it was, as much as anything, I think he was absolutely dejected knowing was actually happening and he just crumpled as Lemons has the ball go his way on the restart. Grua wins it back for Redland. Now he's on the outer wing. Kicks it inside forward 50. Thompson's a target. Does well in front of Adam Saad. Plays on quickly. Ends up with Christensen. Christensen pushes. He kicked. Does he have the accuracy? No. Out of bounds on the full. Very slowly is Trent McKenzie walking off.
Yeah, look, he's done his right hamstring. That's sad, because he's come back and he's been playing terrific footy today. And look, mate, I feel sorry for him. He
throws his mouth card in disgust. And
it's frustrating, isn't it?
You can't blame him.
They can't take a trick this year, the Gold Coast Suns, with players getting injured. And
so that was a good mark there by from Shade, and it was the big boy, Loersch. Took the ball, gets it down to the outer wing, and just doing well there. Just protecting the area. The drop zone was Lockie Nyland Rowe. Kicks the ball backwards, gets it to Adkins. Is it back to Nyland Rowe? Now to Miller. I want to come out this side. And going high there was Cameron Reeves. Couldn't take the mark though. And Spencer kicks it back inside forward 50. Hallahan just bursts through, busts off one, and gives the handball off to Fiorini, who just centres the ball. Good unselfish play. Cameron goes high. And
no, he didn't mark that.
The front. Clay Cameron is paid the mark though. And I've got to say that I thought Rogerson had first hands on that.
That's what I thought. That's why I'm going, what was that?
I thought he almost stole it out of his hands, to be honest. But we're a little bit further away the umpires, and we've got to give the umpires benefit of the doubt because they are right on the spot there.
I think McKenzie, it's not his hamstring. I think it's his groin. I think he's done a groin.
Is he?
His right side groin.
So Clay Cameron, he's got 3 for this afternoon. We'll get a bit of an update if we can a little bit later. And Cameron squeezes it through for a goal. So number 4 for Clay Cameron. He's been a very good contributor this afternoon.
Yeah.
His attack on the football has been very good, and it's resulted in 4 goals and a good lot of play he's set up.
Yeah. No, look, he's been a terrific target up forward for Gold Coast, and that's one of the reasons why they've scored so many goals. Look, they've kicked 17, you know, and Redland have only kicked 9. It's just because the key players, you know, even Brooksby chips in for a goal up there, and they just have, you know, their tools are just far better than Redland's tools, Nick.
Do you think that because they're so far ahead now, the main ball getters, you think they would just maybe come off? Because
well, you only
it
have
could cause an injury like that.
Oh, well, there's no doubt they look
Like
after
McKenzie,
Sard. I don't know
yeah.
about a couple of the other fellas, and I don't think there's too many coming back from injury anyway, but they'll definitely keep an eye on Sard. And,
Hallahan.
well, you know.
Oh, he's there.
So they've noticed McPherson on the boundary line. He's taking his boots off for the moment as well. Here's Cameron Reeves. Kicks it up, finds Yagmore. Just forward to centre. Out of side. Just wheels around on the left foot. Goodall should have the sit here. Can't quite take the mark. Well done by Shade. Now it's Kaufman. Comes away. Has a little bit of space. The kick was a little bit dicey. And just overcooks it and finds a Rayner. So the diminutive little Rayner will get on his left foot. Kicks it hard. Finds Christensen. He said, a little bit further away than I thought. I'll have to have a bit of a run up to have a go at it.
This will test him.
But he decides to pass it instead. Can't find Weller. And they might turn it over. No, they get it back. Batoli, Simmons, Sard. He just got in the way there. Loersch and just well. Lemons. He's wrapped up by 2 Bombers. And we'll have a ball up. Some 30 metres from the Bombers' goal. Malone. A good tackle there by Thompson. And we'll get another stoppage once again.
Oh, they're having a go, Redlands. They're trying to keep it in their forward 50. That's all they can do. They just got to try and get a goal out of it now.
Just finish the game off. It's important for them, I think, Gilbert.
Yeah.
So chain of handballs ends up with Willis. Gets it out to Shade. Shade, Henry, gets it to the outer wing.
Oh, good
and that's
mark.
a very nice mark.
Oh, what a handball.
Well taken there by Kempe.
Brilliant handball.
And they come through attacking. Brooksby's there. O'Donnell, he's the opponent. Does
That's
it roll?
a goal!
Did he touch it? Did he touch it?
It's a goal.
Goal. What a goal. That's a long goal.
It's a goal.
Where did he kick it from? How far back?
From the wing.
From the wing.
So I think that's Donnelly, boys, that kicked it that way.
Yeah.
And I was a bit confused because O'Donnell back there almost was happy to walk it over, but probably didn't understand. He thought it was touched.
I think he did.
I thought he did.
Well, you know what? You know the
That
old
was a
saying,
strange one.
you keep playing till the whistle's blowing. You know, the Caper,
In fact, it was. It's been credited to Spencer, the goal, but I think it
Maxie.
might have been. I'm pretty sure it was Donnelly that kicked it. But Champion Data providing our stats.
I reckon Maxie would be happy to take that one.
Well, regardless of who kicked it, it's a goal and extends the Gold Coast lead to 63 points. They lead 120 to 57 now. 8 minutes gone in this last quarter. Brooksby went early. Malone just stood there. And the big fella, the mailman, got it forward.
Got a bit of a cramp.
That's Cameron Reeves. Goes inside and then goes back boundary side. Gets
Good
it right
pass.
to the goal square and they rush it behind the Gold Coast Suns.
Did you ever get cramp, Gilbert? Did you ever get cramp? Did you when you played? No? Why not?
Too fit.
No, I don't know.
You're
bro.
talking
I
about a
just
fit man. Here's Adam Sard.
pulled a quadricep today, but
We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Keogh goes off to Shade. Shade has still got a bit of sunlight there to work with.
Shade.
So kicks it sideways there and finds Lemons. So Sean Lemons kicks it back to Shade. Shade down the line this time. Couldn't quite find his target in Kempe. Here's Adrian Williams. So he's about 55 metres out and just looked for a short target. Couldn't hit it. Salter tried to interject. Here's Kaufman. Don't mind the way he works. Kempe just puts a bit of toe down. Yagmore just corrals him, so he just holds him up. Gives it back. And now they take it to half forward. And with the good leap on that occasion was the big man in Loersch. Gives it to Hallahan. Hallahan just stands there now. He decides to go from the point of the square. Just launches it deep inside forward 50.
What a kick.
And well
What a
done.
mark.
And finds Willis, who made good ground.
Looks like he hurt his shoulder too, Kanga.
And he looks like he's in a bit of pain.
Yeah.
Well, he gets up, kicks it backwards, and finds Fiorini.
Yeah. A bit sore, another one coming off.
Nicky, you know Hallahan that kicked the ball then? He's just tapped that ball, and that's a pass. That scored 55 metres. He can kick the ball 70 metres with a drop punt the way he kicks the ball sometimes.
No.
He is. He's powerful.
He's got a super boot.
Oh, he's very powerful in his legs.
Yeah.
As we see Willis come off the ground, holding a bit of a shoulder, so
He had that all day
good,
today, Kanga. He had a bit of a sore shoulder today.
not a great outcome.
No.
The scoreboard's not a problem.
He's kicked it.
And Fiorini kicks a very good goal from the angle. And that's his first for the afternoon, and just extends the misery on the Redland Bombers, who are now 68 points adrift. And we're officially, I think, in junk time. So the lead is very much there, and Gold Coast will come away with a really deserved win because they have been the better side on the day.
Oh, look, and it's good for them, because they struggled earlier on, and Stevie Daniels, he's hadn't had a lot to play with early in the first half of the year, and they had no depth. They had to get blokes from all the quaffle clubs to play the games, and they just didn't have the numbers. So to see them finish off this year like this is good for that footy club.
So off one step went Dawson, right on forward 50, and a high tackle on the Redland Bombers player, and giving away the free. Actually, it was holding the ball. I thought it was a high tackle.
That's what I thought.
Look, you wait till they get their full plays back. Next year, if they can get a good pre-season for everyone, that looks bright for this future for this footy club.
So Brad Shearer it is with the ball. He's already kicked one. It was a good goal. In the third quarter, be able to add one in the back half. Called to play on, kicks right from 50 metres. It's across the face. Brooksby just tried to shark it. Clay Cameron off the ground, front and centre like a little man, and he has a handful. That's 5 today for the afternoon.
Oh, look, he's got a footy brain. Look, he crumbed that. Nick, he crumbed that like a fourth pocket.
Too easy.
He's not meant to do that. He's a key position player. That's another trick up his sleeve. He's got a couple of tricks, and he's had a great day today.
Just saw one-way traffic now this quarter.
Well, the thing was, they had the talls up there, so Big Brooksby was there, and I think Big Loersch was up there as well. So they had the tall timber, so Cameron went, you know what? If they don't catch it,
I'll get the crumb.
I'll be at the drop of the ball, and I'll try and knock it over.
No, that's smart.
The goal umpire's hat.
That's smart.
This young Willis looks like he's got pretty sore shoulders on him at the moment. Anger.
So you'd think he might be put on ice for the rest of the day, potentially, although I saw a thumbs up come down from the bench, so he may come back on. 74 points is the margin. Redland got the clearance, but Lemons won the free kick.
There he goes.
Sard kicks it short, right to the outer wing.
Oh, he just uses the ball well.
Does. It's Dawson with the footy. Just found a short target in Fiorini. There's another short one. Big Loersch.
He's had a good day today, just Loersch.
Now, aren't they?
Yeah, look, he has. And that's possession number 22.
He's been like
and
a
mark
ruck.
number 9.
Yeah, he's been like a ruck rover, He's got a lot of the ball around the ground. And what a luxury to have him and, the big guys that they have.
So Fiorini, his kick didn't go the way he wanted it to and turned it over. Now the ball's with Yagmore. He just tried to kick a big barrel, I thought, and nobody there in particular. There's a whole host of Suns. Ends up with Shade, who got it from Keogh. Now just backing back is Kaufman. Not sure where to go. Just pushes Goodall off and then shows a clean pair of heels. Now to Sard. Sard on the left foot. And good work there. And a nice mark by Shear. Gets it in quickly. Brooks beats a target over his head. Coming out to meet it almost there was one of the Suns' players. Couldn't handle it. It was Bowes. And instead, the clearing kick only found Stuart Donnelly. So Donnelly line them up. He'll have to kick it all of 50. Gives it a fair right. That was good contact.
Beautiful kick.
A great kick. That all went about 55 metres.
Yeah, and it went dead straight. Didn't move 1 millimetre vertical left or right. That was a brilliant kick.
Big Cameron come off. Bushy.
So Stuart Donnelly, officially, according to Champion Data, that's his second goal for the afternoon. I suspect he's got another.
He's had a pretty handy little day himself today.
It's good that they're still going hard, you know, like in the last quarter. They're 10 goals down, but they're still going in hard for it. And both sides are showing that. So if you're running around half-hearted now,
that's right,
you're going to get hurt. So
exactly.
Just keep finishing off.
No, and you're spot on, because, Nick, they need to take that into next week's game. You know what I mean?
And next, maybe build a team for next year again. So.
We're underway again. Here's Brewer. Got the clearance, but just didn't find the target with his handball. Spinning out of trouble that time was Kempe. And then Gang goes bang!
He's all right, this young kid, I'll tell you.
I'm sure he went for the Suns.
He just knows how to find the ball, but he's got a bit of skill to back it up.
Great goal. Great get, you know, and great goal.
Look how small he is, Nick. You know, for him to be able to do that, that's quality.
And when things are running hot, they're running hot. And the Gold Coast have had plenty of contributors this afternoon. And that young man, he's added his third goal for the afternoon. And as we said, there's no doubt there's some talent in amongst these top-up players and listed players enabled to really transport the Gold Coast a little bit further up the ladder, you know, hopefully in season 2016 with the remaining games that they have.
Don't worry, they might make the finals this year. They're still in with it. After today, there's 3 games to go. They've got a chance still.
Well, mathematically they can make it. They'll need every result pretty much to go their way. As Redland take the ball forward and Shea just pulls up. Yeah. He could have absolutely ploughed Matt Thompson into the fence, but chose to take the safer and
they're nearly
less tribunal-y way.
Yeah. Well, they're nearly 100 points ahead, so they've got a big bonus point percentage today. Will that help?
We'll look at a live ladder very shortly. There's plenty of players wrapping it up. A high tackle, so they win the ball again. Dawson, Kempe. Ends up with Spencer. Now Kaufman. Just gets it inside forward 50. The punch came from Rogerson. And Rogerson's been put back to try and stem the tide because it's been coming thick and fast into the Gold Coast forward line. 55 forward entries to 36 for Redlands. So the weight of footy is really told, and 34 scoring shots to 13.
Wayne Lemons came off the ground instead. He could go to Rio for 100-metre sprint.
Yeah, no, he's quality.
Fastest I've ever seen him run.
Yeah, no, he's a quality player. Hey, I wanted to ask you, Jago O'Meara played in the NEAFL last week. What's happened this week? Has he re-injured himself, or is he just... Because he was meant to play today, wasn't he?
I believe he's got some knee soreness.
Okay.
Some general soreness, so they put the cotton wool.
So it's not an injury, it's just a soreness for his first game back within 12 months.
That is, he's played a couple of games in the NEAFL, 3 I believe, and I think he just had some general soreness, so I think they've erred on the side of caution. So back underway again. Malone got the hit out. Lane the tackle was Batoli Simmons, but Hallahan got the handball away. Fiorini gets it away. Dawson, now Cameron, he can go again for a goal. And across the face. So he was going for half a dozen.
Who did the Suns play today, Kanga?
Senior side played Melbourne and unfortunately went down by 2 points.
Jeez.
Kick
2
is...
points.
Loesch went high, couldn't take the mark as Keogh chaperones the footy over the boundary line. So I believe they had a shot a goal after the siren to potentially win the game, and couldn't quite do so. So a heartbreaking loss for the seniors, but real positivity here for their NEAFL side. They're going to come away with an emphatic victory. The ball, it's not over yet because Keogh brings it inside forward 50. O'Donnell's at the back. Who's going to run onto it? It's Rogerson for Redland this time. Adkins is there. He'll look for a target. It's Howard. Gets on the end of it now, although drops what he should have taken. Just butters up. The former Saint, he's got a bit of leg speed. He has, but he's matched by the young, youthful legs of the Gold Coast Suns. Now Christensen can win it. Stephen can't control it. Fiorini can. And inside forward 50 there was Yagmore. Couldn't take the mark. Bowles applies the pressure, does well. And the umpire says, give it to me. The ball up right on forward 50. So we're approaching time on. Nearly 20 minutes gone. Here's Batoli. Simmons kicks it long. Nobody there. And Kaufman is there. It's a short one. Finds shade and is in exactly that. And gives it to Sard. And Sard goes with the left, looking for Hallahan. Just over his head just a little. Didn't quite get there. Stevens there applies the tackle. Hallahan's there, just holds on to it, although he gets up. There's one by the Suns. They'll come inside forward 50 again. They go long. Almost a nice contest there by Bowes. Couldn't quite take the mark, and Redland will come away with it here. They do have a little bit of run. Here's Grua. Edwards, and that just kick, and that's the difference. Just those skill errors, and the ball went over the head alike and found shade, and they can just put it back in again. Lemons is there. Doesn't quite find Bowes on that occasion. They'll come out Nyland Rowe, and they cough it up once again. Donnelly, he couldn't handle it though, so they might get it back here, Redland. Although it is under pressure, I wouldn't be surprised if the ball goes out of bounds. In fact, it does now, and the umpire will throw it back in.
Oh, look, in fairness to Edwards, that kick before, there was no Redlands players up the ground. They were all Gold Coast, so what else could he have done? If he had kicked it to the boundary, it would have been a free kick. I don't know what you do there. Or does he just hold on to the ball and get caught holding the ball?
I think he had a target short, and he went for it, and he just kicked it over the top of him. So that was my criticism, as Fiorini comes away from goal like a tracer bullet. Goes straight towards its target, and that's another. And Fiorini, he's kicked 2 goals for the day, both in the last quarter, and this is becoming, dare I say, a bit of a cakewalk, Nicky Winmar.
Yeah, you can see the body reactions of the Redlands boys. They're the hands on the shoulders, on the hips, like they should, like I say, just try and get another few more goals if they can. Get over the 10 goal mark, 11 goals, 12 goals.
Well, in Gold Coast, they're within sight of a 100-point victory here. They're up by 93 points, 151 playing 58. And I suspect if the previous quarters are any indication, we've probably got about 31 or about 9 odd minutes to go.
I said Gold Coast will win by 110 points at the start. Did you hear me?
No.
Must have yelled it out as you hurt your quad kicking the ball with some of the young folk here in attendance this afternoon.
Yeah.
Had to call the Medivac out for Gilbert McAdam as Miller takes it in defence, takes a couple of bounces, has a man over the top. It's Christensen. Christensen has Goodall there. The handball just didn't hit its target. That's the difference. And Gold Coast, I was going to say they could clear it, but they turned it over. Goodall to Miller. Tries to push Shade off. He was wrapped up. They could have been holding the ball. Spencer. Sard. He's got a whole host of bombers there in attendance with him, and the umpire will ball it up.
How long has Sard been in the Gold Coast Suns for?
This is
second year.
He was a
good player.
He was a mature age drafter, yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's been terrific for them. Great pickup.
He looks, and with all fairness, he looks above this standard of football.
Yeah, just his composure, you can see it.
Well done there by Dawson to win the ball. Here's that man we just spoke about, just measures his kick nicely. And here's another man I think has been a good influence on this game in Mitch Hallahan. He's got one backwards. It's Brooksby. Look out. Oh, in fact, it's Shade. Can take it to the outer side and finds Brooksby. I was ahead of my time there. Keogh, he just gets the ball back after handballing, and he can put it deep inside forward 50, looking for big Luarch. Bowes can't take it. Yagmore lays a tackle. And emerging is Rogerson. Runs. And emerging also there is Salter. Salter was looking for Jonah Like over the top. Couldn't find him, and only found Spencer. Keogh finds young Davidson. Davidson was looking to go a little bit further with that kick.
That's a
Donnelly
mark.
was the man.
That's a mark.
Cameron Reeves, I absolutely agree with you. Umpire suggested he might have got a fist on the defender. Cameron Kaufman gets around Yagmore, and then he's run down by Darcy Cameron Reeves. Good to see the effort. Well, I know it hasn't gone the right way, but there was a good chase there.
Well, Cameron Reeves was the one that punched the ball, and he should have got the mark. So that's the quality of the person. That's, you know what that is? That's second, third efforts. That's brilliant stuff by him.
And some say justice has been done. There's Salter. That's a terrible kick. And they'll come again, the Suns. Just breaking the tackle there was Williams. Gives it off. And they will shoot for goal. It's close, but Darcy Cameron Reeves, he's back there. A bit of the goalkeeper action. And Adrian Williams gets it. Good all. It's on the end of this one. Hasn't seen a lot of the footy today. Chain of handballs ends with Brewer. In fact, there's another one there. And Brewer gets it again. Here's Rayner. Can he pick it up? Gets on his favoured left. Then kicks it further afield. Doesn't find its target. And those are the things that have really let down. If you're going to kick it short, you've got to be able to hit targets at that range.
Oh, Gold Coast skill level is far better than the Redlands. It's showed for 4 quarters.
Tied legs there too, maybe. You know, not the target.
Well, they've been doing a lot of chasing today too, Nick. You got to remember.
They have.
So Lemons gets it out. Spencer, Fiorini, they share the ball. Shade, off to Dawson. Keogh.
Like a
Williams,
on that
it
game,
is.
isn't it?
They're just coming through here and just waltzing through the middle. And the kick just wasn't a good one there from Bowes. Here's Shear, wins it back. Now to Charlesworth, over the top, and finds the big boy. The big baby Huey on the lead. And that is Cameron Luarch. I just like the way he goes about it, this kid.
I think Brooksby's baby Huey. I don't know. They're both big giants anyway. I know that.
Well, he's had 18 hit-outs. He's had 24 possessions. He's had 9 marks.
Baby Huey.
4 inside 50s.
How many goals has
He's
he
had
got?
a presence around the ground, both in the air and at the stoppage.
Oh, he's been brilliant. Like I said, he's got a lot like a ruck rover. You know, he's been terrific.
And he's had a couple of clearances.
There he goes.
And his only fault today is he can't kick for goal.
Oh, well, look, he can work on that. He can't work on reading the play. He can't work on all that other stuff, but he can work on his kicking.
So Minor puts it out
Maybe
to
put his
94.
socks up, Gilbert, you reckon?
No, well, you know, some blokes...
Some blokes like to play with their socks down. I remember one
Everyone's
Neil
different.
Elvis Winmar didn't like to have them up occasionally.
I know one bloke who used to have one down and one up.
Who was that?
Michael Long.
All right, yeah, he did too, didn't he?
And Miller brings it from defence. And good mark, well judged there. Kaufman just feeds it over the top. Fiorini gives it over. They'll just load up here. And missing the target on that occasion.
You know what?
Kempe.
You know why Nick played with his socks down? Because he had to hide his bony ankle.
Oh, you're a funny man.
Ball back into play. And they just keep winning it. They just keep coming. Around the corner, Shear. Cameron traps it well.
Good
Kempe
handball.
again.
There he goes. 6 goals, now, is it?
And Kempe gets number 4.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
He's had a terrific game, hasn't he?
He has. He hasn't had a stack of the ball, but
No,
when you're
but-
presented with opportunity,
Yeah.
the best you can do is take it, and he has taken it this afternoon.
Well, it's what is it? Quantity or quality, whatever they call it, and
Quantity?
that's what it's all about.
Not quantity, it's quality.
Well, you know, you get 10 kicks, you kick 5 goals, you've done the job. You get 10 kicks, you kick no goals. Well, you haven't done the job, have you?
39 scoring shots to 13, you know, like...
And now,
Yes.
101 points is the margin.
Got a few people around my car.
I can't believe that they've it's gone out that far. You know, it was a very close game before.
And it's really taken off here, and it's 8 goals to
Again.
zip in the last quarter. As
Number
Fiorini
6.
gets it out of the middle, and it's another.
Jeez.
So Fiorini has kicked 3 in this last quarter by himself, and that adds another one, and it's 9 goals to nothing in this last quarter.
And where are they on the ladder? 7th.
So they're 8th.
They're mathematically, they can make the finals. They can.
Serious?
Yeah.
What, it's the top 6s or 8?
Top 6.
So the top 6 it is. They currently sit in 8th, and they will move level with Redland with this victory.
28.
Their percentage is pretty poor because they were decimated early in the year with injury. So they're going to, as I said, they're going to need everything to go their way in the run towards through the last couple of games, including Southport really probably falling over in a couple of games. But I think they do play Southport in a matchup coming, which is a chance to really narrow the margin as well. Yeah. And strangely, Redland still got plenty of play for his grew up. He just tried to straighten up on his right leg from the wing there and kicked it out of bounds on the full as Keogh has the ball.
The Redlands are missing the other ruckman. He's quality for him. We always call him. He's not playing today.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name off the top of their head. But
so Low Arch, we'll get to that in a minute. That was Davidson. It was Willis. And the young man just upended was Williams, and the ball from the marking contest was spoiled over the boundary line.
Young Keogh?
Yeah, Keogh. He's been very serviceable today, hasn't he, at halfback?
Nothing to Rod Keogh?
I wouldn't have thought so. Spelt differently, I think.
Oh,
Nicky?
okay.
So we're back. Malone. Kick comes out. Thompson gets the mark from the hurried kick out. Batoli Simmons kicks it to the outer side. Running for him there is Salter. Got a little bit of paddock in front of him. Chasing hard. There is Dawson. Now Salter's kick just doesn't find the target. And Jonah Like just trying to get to the front has just absolutely collapsed on his opponent. Gave away a free kick advantage paid. Fiorini. Maybe looking at the goals from the centre, just given the fact that he's just been kicking them in this last quarter. Shear just wheels around, goes inside forward 50. Who's coming to meet it? Judging it better was Williams, and he'll streak in to an open goal and add another and just keep rubbing it in.
Yeah.
And this is important percentage for
Redlands too, not just for Gold Coast.
That's exactly right. And percentage just keeps falling away from the Bombers, and Gold Coast just keep picking it up. And the margin, it is just ever expanding here, and now it's out to 113 points.
It's always the toughest time of the year too when the finals coming around. You know, the weather change, but up here, you know, it's always been like this. But down south, you know, Sydney way, the winter comes in.
I think it's just disappointing the way they've finished the game.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, they shouldn't let them go this far away.
No,
they should have a bit of a contest, Kanga.
Just stopped.
That'll be the most disappointing thing. Ball went inside forward 50 from Batoli Simmons, and there's Shade. And he's been very solid down back too. He's been helped by the midfield. His kick wasn't a good one, and that's the final siren as Redland get put out of their misery. 113 points was the margin in favour of the Gold Coast Suns. A little bit of a toll on the injury front with Trent McKenzie going down, which looked like
it's his groin.
A groin injury.
It's definitely his groin. I thought it was hammy, but it's his groin.
Yeah, but look, McKenzie aside, it was a complete domination by the Gold Coast Suns today.
Absolutely.
And there'll be plenty of players putting their hand up to hopefully move into that senior side next week for the Suns. And a lot of confidence taken for the Suns in the NEAFL competition.
And you know what? It's been great that I've been we're pretty close to the Gold Coast bench and that, and I love it when all them young fellas all went up to him and shake. Lemons went over, and even even Andrew Rains went up to him, and you know that's what he needs. You know, he needs people to talk to him and say, you know, I know you've done your groin, and he's just got back from injury, but that's football, you know, and that's the sad thing about football is you have your ups and downs, Nicky. But I love it when I see fellas encouraging him and, you know, patting him on the back, because when moments like these happen, you know, you're sort of like a lonely person, Nick, and you know, because you know you're not going to play. He's done a grind. He probably won't play for another 6 weeks, Nicky, with a grind. Might not even play for the rest of the year.
I just they're not going to, you know, if they might have a chance to make it, but if they don't, I'll just give it a rest for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
But all in all, what a great win to Gold Coast, and Coach Stevie Daniel, he'd be pretty wrapped with the way they played, and You know, he'd be enjoying it now a lot more than what he was early in the year when they had no players and no depth. And yeah, it's good to see the Gold Coast Suns up and running and doing well, Nick.
Redland's going to go home and look at the scoreboard and go home and rethink about what they're going to do next week. I mean, they're going to bounce back. They can't just sort of walk away from this bit thrashing, you know, like it's embarrassing for the club and for the players, but, you know, hopefully next week they train a lot better and get back into it and never say never.
Well, they do have a bye next week.
They do.
Redland, so they're going to have a little bit of time to regroup, recharge, re-energise, and they've got 2 more games to finish off the season. It's the Giants, followed by the Canberra Demons. So the big test, if Redland are going to have any chance whatsoever, Southport have basically not got to win another game, and Redland need to beat the Giants and Canberra. Meanwhile, the Gold Coast Suns, they play the Giants next week, and then Southport and Aspley. So destiny is in their hands to some respect, but Southport hold the ace for that magic 6th position leading into the finals as well. I think one more win for them will just about seal it, but it's still alive. That's the good news.
Well done today, Ganger. The call was fantastic again.
Well, thank you, Nicky. And it's
Gilbert's specials.
You're not bad yourself, brother.
Well, it is good to have 2 legends here beside me in Nicky Winmar and also Gilbert McAdam. It was the Suns, courtesy of 5 goals to Clay Cameron, 3 to Fiorini, 4 to Kempe, and also Jack Bowes with 3. And a whole host of other goal kickers were there. It's a big afternoon of football. We're going to wrap it up. And it was the Gold Coast Suns by 113 points. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.